Round 5, and we've just finished the top 32 knockout stage as we head towards the main event, the top 16. What all the anticipation and all the build-up leads to. The best 16 drivers in Europe on their day will go to war for a top spot on the podium. And we've already had so much incredible action in that top 32, including a huge moment where James Deane clinched the 2018 Drift Masters European Championship. And Ian, what a moment it was, an emotional moment for James Deane. Every single round this year, he's had mechanical issues, he's had problems, he's been stressed out. He said it's been the hardest year he's ever had. Well, didn't seem it as he wrapped up the championship with one round to spare. And I think if you look into the history books in many years to come, we are watching one of the greats. We are watching the Schumacher, the Senna of the drift scene right now, as this man takes 6 European championships, 5 Irish titles, and in his first full season of competition, the Formula Drift USA Championship last year. That is what stories are built of. They're building extensions in Cork on that house to house all those trophies right now, and his family very emotional behind the scenes. And you know, it'd be easy to get used to the winning, but he's not just about winning anymore, it's about making history, and this guy is doing it every single time. So let's take a look back at Hipke versus Deane. We've seen this fight continue throughout the season, and it started from the off. Hipke pushed, but he pushed just too hard, Ian, and this is where it all went wrong.
Listen, I spoke to him earlier in the pits, and he said he was going to throw everything at it and the kitchen sink, and he did, David. He dropped a wheel in the gravel. He overcooked that second front clip. James Deane, what can you say about his lead run? It's just expected now, if you like, that he is going to put down the best and the most high quality
run.
You
know, a lot of drivers saying that you've got 2 opponents when you go up against James Deane. You've got James Deane and you've got yourself, because the pressure he puts on you with those amount of accolades, that run that he's on now for the last 5, 6, 7 years of almost winning almost every event he's ever entered. He's definitely won every championship he's ever entered. It puts an extra element of pressure, and I think Hipke, with such a good run, he had to go into that second run sort of as a passenger because he was in the lead position. He couldn't force the issue, and James Deane stepped back, put the helmet on, and said, you know what, if I'm going to win this right now, I've got to be sensational, and that's exactly what he was.
Yeah, it was a special moment for all of us, and you see here, Hipke did everything he could, but unfortunately James Deane was just untouchable. You know, he threw that car, and look at this. Hipke, again, very, very wide on that front clip, and Deane absolutely flawless proximity as he sticks the car to the door, and this is just the seal on it. You know, he puts the seal on the mark, and that is done.
Absolutely, a very, very dominant win this year, which, you know, watching live, you would say this guy just walked through the grid. He was on the podium almost every round. He was sensational. But behind the scenes, the true story was it wasn't easy. It was panicked. I met James Deane last night coming out of the hotel at 1 a.m. in the morning. I was going to bed, getting prepared for today. You know, got to get my beauty sleep in there, Ian. Getting prepared. He was walking out the front door of the hotel with a clutch under his arm that had been just delivered by one of his friends who flew in from Ireland. You think that guy had it easy? And I'm telling you, in this game, with this level of competition, with these guys who are so good, you have got to be not only committed, but you've got to be special, and you've got to be so committed to getting that championship more than anybody, and Deane a deserved winner. However, speaking of family celebrations, there's a little divide in the camp when you get towards the Red Bull Drift brothers, as Joe goes through to the top 16, as brother Ellie Dussin. Eddie Powers with those guys now, catching up on how the feelings are in the camp.
You can't travel across Europe competing in a motorsport championship without a fantastic team behind you, and few teams have such a presence as the Red Bull Drift Brothers. Behind me, their corporate hospitality area where you can get a little bit of break from the sun and the shade and watch the live stream. And here, their pit area where Joe and Eli had all their work done on their cars. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of a chat with them. These guys, Joe, Eli, we were hoping to see you guys come up against each other in the top 16. It's not going to play out this time, unfortunately, Eli going out to Pavel Travel, but a very good weekend and championship so far for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing season so far. The level of driving is incredible. For me, I'm very disappointed today on home turf, throwing it away against Pavel Trela, who is a really good driver, but the mistake was on my side, unfortunately. I didn't have much practice today because the car was giving trouble, but the team fixed everything, so big thanks to the team. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have been in a competition, so I'm happy to at least had one lap, but I wished I could have won.
We say it's important to have such a great team, and as you say, your team did a great job. A lot of mechanical difficulties. Just how much pressure does that add to the already difficult task of trying to go out and come and take down people in top 32 like Pavel Travel?
Yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing was yesterday we had a broken clutch. They fixed everything. they put it back together. I went out this morning and the new clutch gave trouble again, and so it continued its story. So in the end, they changed 4 times, get out a gearbox and in, and that in an incredible time. And for me, I was really feeling confident in the car, but it seems like the track conditions have changed from my first practice lap this morning. I had a break until the battle now, and it seems like the track just changed too much, and I couldn't adapt that fast in that one single lap. And yeah, it's a shame because these guys put in so much effort, and unfortunately I couldn't go out victorious, but there will be a next time.
Very unfortunate, but that leaves it to you, Joe, an opportunity to claim a little bit of redemption and revenge for your brother. How are you feeling going up against Trella in the top 16?
Well, I'm hot, definitely hot. I'm super sorry for Eli because he was driving amazing all weekend as well, but without the practice it's just so hard to really adapt to the conditions. It's going to be super tough. I had a tough top 32 battle against Matt, who was insanely fast. I know Pavel will be fast, and we have some history, him and I. So yeah, there are some points to be made, and I'm of course looking for redemption for the Red Bull Drift Brothers right now.
So at the moment, Pavel Trella has a target on his back, and as you say, very tight in the middle of the championship. Points here today on the board could count quite a bit going into the final round in Mondello.
For sure, for sure. I mean, you've seen it. As Eli mentioned, the level of driving, the density of talent in the grid is just off the hook. I've not seen talent like this stacked up in those amounts. So everything counts. Every small, tiny mistake, you're out and you're down the line a whole big time. So, of course, we're going to give it all and see what we can do.
Well, guys, it's been great watching you in this championship and this round, as always. Joe, we wish you the best of luck in your top 16. And Eli, unfortunately for you, the end of your campaign today, but we look forward to seeing you back stronger than ever at Mondello for the final round.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
So there you have it, the Red Bull Drift Brothers excited for the rest of the season, but Eli will have to watch on. His brother Joe goes up against Pavel Trella. A little bit of history there, as you heard him mention. What I loved his phrase, the density of talent, and that is exactly what this championship is all about. You know, a lot of these guys come in here, and a lot of the fans from around Europe are saying, well, you know, this guy's dominated my national series. This guy has been, you know, the guy getting all the trophies. He comes here and he's going out top 32, top 16. That's not because he's got worse. That's because the level is so high. I mean, I've had drivers like Nigel Colfer say to me, you get to a top 16 here, you pack your truck saying, great weekend. That has never existed in European drifting before. They've had maybe 8, 10 top guys and a couple of locals. This is really what it's all about. All of those nations, all of those flags, all of those representatives. And for me, going into this top 16, you think the championship's done. It is not done for everybody bar James Deane, because every other driver on that grid wants to sit back and get as high up the order as they can. And here's another thing that's right now on the line. Coming into this round, Ireland trailed Poland at the top of the Nations Cup, with Germany sitting right in there as well. That's now starting to blow wide open again as James Deane claws some points back, and the Polish guy is still very much in the fight. We're going to be interested to see how that lies for the rest of the competition, and I think that might even be a bigger story. Can you imagine Poland versus Ireland going up against it in Mondello in Ireland at the final? That'll be very interesting for the Nations Cup. But if you've been trying to swat at your screen for the last 2 days, if you've been watching the live stream saying, is that a fly on my screen? Well, it's not. It's these crazy speed drone racers that have been getting some incredible footage of this track right throughout the weekend. You've got to see this to believe it. Check this out. Incredible stuff, right, Ian? What a perspective of the speed and skill needed to get around this circuit. And now we are ready for the top 16 here in round 5, the penultimate round of the championship. I mean, you could take a lot of pick a lot of winners here. I would not like to right now, but first off the bat, we have got exactly what Eddie Power was just investigating in the pit area, which is going to be a real grudge match as the first battle. Pavel Korpelinski and Yanis Iglite. These grudge matches, which Eddie's trying to find in the pits, they're everywhere. Iglite, Korpelinski. I think you've got into this championship thinking Iglite from Latvia is one of the favorites to win it. He hasn't had that form. Korpelinski, one of the sort of underdogs coming through, he's proved himself as one of the top contenders in the championship. I think Iglite is going to want a strong finish here to the championship, and he knows he's got to go up against the #1 qualifier in Pavel Korpelinski from Poland, but the current Swedish drift champion. Try and figure that one out. Well, we're ready to send cars here in the top 16. Our Starline marshals make the last minute checks to those cars, making sure they're safe and ready to go. Because if you're going in at 80 miles an hour into that corner, you've got to be pretty confident.
Yeah, confidence is what you need in tenfold as we see Yanis Iglite pull up to our start line marshal. Has he got an issue with the car? Potentially he's opened the door, he's having a chat with our start line marshal. Pavel Korpelinski, on the other hand, sits there cool, calm and collected. And no, Yanis Iglite does look like he is prepared and ready to go. We are waiting to get the all clear and the thumbs up from our guys. And they are waiting for the green light to go, and it will be Pavel Korpelinski, your first place qualifier here at round 5, the Drift Masters European Championship 2018, to lead out Yanis Iglite for a spot in the Great 8. Oh, and almost contact there as Yanis Iglite almost tacks the back bumper of Pavel Korpelinski's car. Korpelinski absolutely flying, carrying some very good pace. Yanis Iglite overcooking it. As Korpelinski stands on the accelerator and starts to pull away from Yanis Iglite, the Latvian now really needs to make some effort, but can't do anything in the latter half of that battle.
Must be said that Iglite making big errors there in the chase position, looked aggressive from the start, but as it sort of unraveled through the run, especially at the inner hairpin, as Iglite sort of dives in and try and make up the ground, but carries too much pace, washes wide, and that's way off where he needs to be. Korpelinski, well, he's Mr. Scalextrics this weekend because he hasn't put a foot wrong, and I expect him to be taking an advantage here.
Korpelinski and not putting a foot wrong, like you say, Dave, and really starting to cement himself in the championship and looking like a real contender. Like I say, sitting 8th position in the championship at the moment, and now with Grzegorz Hipki dropping out of competition, it opens up that second place, and someone like Pavel Korpelinski, you know, if he finds himself on the podium at the end of this weekend, could find himself way up the order in the championship heading into the final round.
Well, if nothing else, Korpelinski will finish this season over the next 2 rounds in a position where if he goes into next year, he ain't no underdog. Everybody's going to know who he is and be very fearful of his abilities. So a big achievement for him already. You're looking at Iglite, who's a multiple champion in Latvia and the Baltic regions. He's got to pull it out of the bag here.
Yanis Iglite gets the green light to lead out Pavel Korpelinski. And this is for a spot in the Great 8. As now Pavel Korpelinski puts aggression into it and sticks his car on the back bumper of Iglite's BMW E46. Korpelinski now starts to make a nice dive. Very nice lead line from Yanis Iglite as Korpelinski dives through the smoke. Starts to force some proximity on the door of Yanis Iglite as both guys come across the line. Very nice run there from both lead and chase.
Impressive from Korpelinski as he stays within that couple of car lengths right throughout the course. And you know what, he didn't make any big moves, but right when he needed to here, he started to dial it in. And even though Iglite tidied up his run a lot from the first half of the battle, the damage may have already been done.
Korpelinski looking very good in that chase position, and like I say, cementing himself inside this championship. Judges having a good discussion with this one. As you can see, our 20 nations flags there flying high.
Can you believe it? 20 plus nations in one championship. We never thought it was possible, but right now we have the best in Europe here, all from their different backgrounds, different stories, different characters. It's been an incredible journey throughout this season, Ian, one that we've been, you know, had the pleasure to watch every run, and of course sit here with you guys and enjoy the action and see these guys come from nothing to something overnight, and see, you know, current champions become heroes, and big underdog victories and crashes and high speed chases. We've had cars drive through the city streets of Latvia. It's like a rock and roll tour. It's like something out of a dream for many drift fans across Europe, and it's been an incredible journey that now is at its penultimate round and heading to that final round in Mondello Park on our home soil. It's going to be something special, and I think these guys have proven it time and time again how entertaining this sport can be, how much progression it's taken in the last couple of years. And as the judges analyze the runs there, we await the judging decisions for Yanis Iglite and Pavel Korpelinski, who is going to go through to the top 8. That's the business end, Ian. That's when it's starting to get really close to that podium.
And that, Dave, is where the big points are scored. You start getting into that great 8 and a foot into that top 4. That's when you start feeling the taste of the champagne, and that's when you could potentially take home some real serious points, especially at this point in the championship. And like I say, Korpelinski is going to be looking to progress further. Looks like the scores are in, though, Dave.
Yeah, it looks like one of these guys is going to take it home and take it to the top 8. Slide him left for Latvia's Yanis Iglite, or will it be Poland's Korpelinski? One vote for Korpelinski, and he gets the win. Pavel Korpelinski goes through to the top 8. What a weekend he's having. Guys, this man is on rails.
Yeah, for the first run there, Korpelinski had quite a good lead run, other than washing wide at inner clip 2 a little bit. But Iglite followed him much faster and actually washed much wider there in the chase position. And we don't think that that wash was really caused by Korpelinski, because Iglite didn't really have enough proximity to cause the wash. You switch him around then, Iglite had quite a good lead run. We did have to look on the replay to see if he dropped 2 wheels just passing outer zone 3 in front of us here, but it wasn't definite from the replay. But Korpelinski had a much cleaner chase run, better proximity the whole way throughout the run, so Korpelinski came away with an advantage from that run as well. So Korpelinski getting the win overall.
Korpelinski proving himself this weekend and really making a move inside the championship. His fight continues. Someone who's going to be looking to make their fight continue is Joe Hutanji, as he now takes on Pavel Trela for a spot in the Great 8. 700 horsepower, 180SX pickup to take on that Opel GT with 860 horsepower, 2JZ under the bonnet.
Well, the history between both of these guys is Poland versus Germany, and both these guys have met a couple of times in competition in various competitions in the past, but this is where it really counts in the Champions League of European Drifting. Joe Hutanji in the Red Bull car will lead him in. Trela straight off that podium in the last round. He's going to go hard for the door here.
And a big mistake from Pavel Trela on initiation, as Joe Hutanji looks very collected. Trela now trying to get himself back in the fight after that mistake. Hutanji very cool and collected in front. Trela makes a dive onto the door, and Trela just trying to clasp onto anything left inside that battle for him.
Incredible stuff from Trela as he makes that last-ditch dive to the door of Joe Hutanji's car, but the damage seemed to be done in the early parts of the run. Trela making that error just as he came into the corner. Watch this, they just sort of fails to initiate, hesitates a small bit, and one hesitation at this level of competition at over 80 miles an hour, well, you can see what happens. You lose some ground, and Hutanji doing a solid job in that lead position. So we will return him around, Ian, and well, you got to switch him around. You got to say a little bit of an advantage maybe for Joe Hutanji there. He looks, and you could see how hungry he was for it when we interviewed him earlier in the pit area. He was, I haven't seen that sort of steely look in Joe Hutanji's eyes all season. I think he wants to finish this one strong, but you've got to remember, there's an X factor in this. We're in Germany. That's the X factor. We watch these nations go to war, but if you're on your home turf with your home fans, that's why you're putting on that face. That's why you want to go out there and beat the Polish guys who put all of your German guys out in the last round in Poland. So a little bit of revenge there, not just for his brother being knocked out by Trela, but also for, you know, not getting there and Trela getting ahead of them in Poland and Torun. That's going to be playing on Joe Hutanji's mind, saying, you know what, I'm a King of Europe champion. You're a Polish champion. Well, I'm going to show you what it's all about. He's in the chase position now. Expect that crazy pickup truck 180SX with a V8 to go close on the door of that Opel GT. That's a sentence that makes sense in no other sport than drifting. A pickup truck with a Mitsubishi Galant front with a V8 American engine goes up against an Opel GT with a Toyota engine right now. Incredible.
Well, let's see what Joe Hutunji has got in him as he now sticks that Galant fronted 180 SX in it. But look at the pace that Pavel Trela's car carries, overcooks it ever so slightly. Can he carry out the angle? He can. Makes a small error coming through that front clip, almost straightens it out. Joe Hutunji, though, is still in the fight. This is a very, very good effort from Joe Hutunji as he pushes Pavel Trela over the finish line. Joe Hutunji looking very, very strong in that battle. We go back to the replay, Dave, you can just see this.
Well, it looked to me like Trela had a lot of pace here. He actually left Joe Hutunji a little bit, but watch this. This is the mistake. Big angle, but slowed himself right down, allowing Joe Hutunji to get back into the fight. Trela sort of shortcutting there on very little angle. And you can see Joe Hutunji saying, well, if you're going to leave the door open, I'm going to walk straight in and invite myself into this battle. And that's exactly what happened as Joe Hutunji now starts to claw back some of those points he may have lost in the first half of the run. Technical run from both drivers, let's be honest. Good run. Both sides lead and chase, so judges going to have to get those pencils sharpened and start making some notes here on who's going to go through to the top 8.
So judges very quick with the scores, and it does look like they are dropping in as Pavel Trela exits his car. Who's going to take it through to the Grade 8?
Yeah, scores drop inside him. Left for Trela, right for Joe Hutunji. Will it be Poland? Will it be Germany that's going through to the top 8? One vote for Joe Hutunji. And it's unanimous. Joe Hutunji gets the win. And Germany are going to the Grade 8. Guys, what a great battle from both competitors, but Joe Hutunji winning out in the end.
Yeah, we are not expecting even something less in top 16. We saw a very good battle. If we compare the lead runs, Joe's lead run was slightly better than Trela's. Especially he was more precise, more stable on the angle. If we compare the chase runs, again Joe was better in the chase run because Pavel made big mistake in the first part where he did not get into the angle, he did not get close to Joe, and that's why Joe really is the one who is going through.
Joe Hutunji.
Yeah, Joe Hutunji, the local man from Germany, the Red Bull Drift brother, goes through to the top 8, much to the delight of the local crowd. Moving along though, Sweden versus Poland, Erlendsson versus Borkowski. Two guys who have been on startling form this weekend. Erlendsson, big qualifying run. Borkowski had to get it all done in the last minute of qualifying. Well, he's still in it, he's still here, and you don't want to count him out. This is a real grudge match.
As they await the green light, they are good to go. Eroldsson to lead in Borkowski. We haven't seen Eroldsson yet come alive in a battle, but he is now leading out Pavel Borkowski. And look at the pace that Christian Eroldson's GT86 carries. Oh, but he's a big error. Wow.
Big error. And the back end just decimated off that GT86. There was huge damage there as pieces just flew, bodywork everywhere. It was like the back end just exploded. And they've been digging that edge of the course for so much now over the last while. You can see Erlendsson getting applause from the crowd, but look at this, goes too wide, drops, bang, and look at that. Body panels, the boot lid, everything comes off the car. And Borkowski's like, oh, and look at that. They
how
almost,
close they came to
how
contact.
they didn't make a big contact. We can see, looks to me like there is some serious damage to the rear end of Erlendsson's car. And the fact that he is not even driving away from this one. Guys, give a round of applause for Borkowski and Erlendsson. Pushing hard out there, Ian.
Yeah, listen, you're not going to get into the Grade 8 by giving 10%, Dave, and we've said that before. And unfortunately, Christian Eroldsson, we haven't, like I said, we haven't seen him come alive in this battle, in this weekend so far. He pushed 150% for me, and unfortunately, caused himself a big error.
Absolutely. We see Borkowski delaminating a tire also, following Erlendsson into that corner, but Erlendsson unable to compete in the rest of this battle. It's, yeah, Dean maybe has his fault, or Borkowski get the win. It's hard to know which way the judges are going to go, but there you have it. Kieran, Kevin, and David, unanimous. Pavel Borkowski goes through to the top 8, and there you have it. The number 3 qualifier out of the competition at this stage already. Ian, we are just going to see some unpredictable stuff happening today. There's nothing we can do about it. Track cleanup underway. Erlendsen's car needs some recovery. Watch this, though, as the rear end of Erlendsen's car absolutely explodes on impact.
I mean, I kind of cursed him a little bit because I said that we hadn't seen him come alive in a battle yet because he hadn't been given the opportunity, and I think all that waiting around and not really getting an opportunity to battle Steve Bagsi-Biaggioni in the top 32, maybe put a little bit of pressure on his head. He knows that Pavel Borkowski came in third place at the last round in Turin. There's a lot of pressure, and he knew he had to push hard, but he pushed, I mean, very hard.
Nice look at the inner workings of a drift car there. While this car looks destroyed, in fact, most of these cars, Ian, and you're a man that works on a lot of these cars, they are built to take impacts like this. They're built to be almost like Lego, interchangeable rear ends, so all these body panels fall off, but they can kind of clip them back on again.
Yeah, listen, these cars are designed to take big impacts like that, and as you can see, Christian Erlendsen's car has been designed to have the rear end completely removed in a contact like that. Unfortunately, you can see suspension damage there, and a completely debeaded tyre has forced Christian Erlendsen into a situation where he can't compete any longer. So Christian Erlendsen now just awaiting recovery, and you can see here on a replay just how deep he did go into that. Absolutely destroyed the back end of that Toyota GT86. As Pavel Borkowski avoids contact and manages to get away with that one unscathed and advance through. So as you can see there, I'm joined by Kevin O'Connell in the commentary tower. Look at this, Kevin O'Connell, damage to that Weiss Fab rear arm. And Kevin, some very, very good battles, and guys pushing over 100% this weekend to, you know, get themselves up in the order and get themselves into the top four and on the, potentially on the podium.
I know, it's absolutely crazy over here. Drivers pushing 110%, but it's quite a difficult event to judge, to be honest. We're seeing an awful lot of drivers pushing overly hard, a lot of people going off, especially in front of us here at Outer Zone 2. They're really putting a wheel off and doing a lot of damage, as you see from here.
So I'm joined with Kevin O'Connell. Kevin, you just explaining to me about the damage and how hard it is for these guys, and saying, you know, that the speed that they're carrying into the first corner isn't easy to get door on door, and drivers saying one small error coming past that front inner clip gave the lead car an opportunity to pull some ground that wasn't easily recovered.
Yeah, you said it there, Ian. It really all does come down to the lead run here. It's not all just about chasing. That first corner is very, very difficult for the lead driver to get an exact line, but if they're not on the exact right line, then it's impossible for the chase driver to chase too. So we really are focusing on the lead line here and making sure that that lead driver is absolutely nailed to that qualifying line. That's the only way that we're going to see good battles here this weekend.
Exactly that, and you know what, we see these battles progressing through, and we've got some very, very good ones lined up in front of us. And you know what, I mean, it must make it very, very difficult for you to pick out who is at fault when you've got two very good leading chases. I mean, what goes through you? How do you decipher if both guys, I mean, are you splitting hairs? How close is it?
Yeah, you said it there, Ian. We really are splitting hairs. To be honest, it really all does come down to proximity, but you can't have a good battle without a good lead run as well. So we really like to see the lead driver absolutely nail to that qualifying line. That's the way that we'll be able to see that chase driver push 110%, know where the lead driver is going to be the whole way throughout that lap, and be able to nail it onto his door.
And for me, Pavel Korpelinski, first place qualifier, he's looking very, very strong, winning his top 32 battle, winning his top 16 battle. He now sits in the Great 8. A contender next year, next season, or a contender for the podium this weekend?
I think you said it there, Ian. I think he's a contender today for the podium at least. He's absolutely on fire and nailing that qualifying line every time. It's like the car is on rails the whole way around.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it just looks like you see his driving style and the car, like you say, it looks like it's on rails. It doesn't even look like he's driving. It looks like it's remote control at some points. He's absolutely dialed it. And a lot of drivers, I mean, Christian Eriksen, unfortunately, was one of the guys that I spoke to, and he said these fast-flowing circuits suited him. And we see that yesterday in qualifying, right? A lot of guys have shone when we've got to these faster, wider circuits.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the tracks that we've had earlier this year have been really technical circuits, and it really shows this weekend the higher power cars. It just suits other drivers, so you get to see them shine a lot more. So it's great for the championship.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's what we needed when we get to the penultimate round, is to have a little bit of a mix-up and you know, see some different guys get thrown into the mix, especially Pavel Korpelinski. And now we see Joe Hutanji making his way through. He's in the Great 8. He will be battling Pavel Korpelinski for a spot in the Final Four as we look to get ready for the next battle in our top 16, as Dave Egan is going to join me back in the commentary tower.
Thank you. Great to get an insight from Kevin there from the judging panel. I was really listening attentively just from their aspect of it. I mean, we watch it as an entertainment product, and we're trying to get you guys through it, but it's tough for those guys today. And now we see Adam Zalewski against Max Heidrich, another German driver against a Polish driver. We want to go by history. Well, right now, it is definitely 1-0 to the Germans, as Joe Hutanji, as you mentioned, taking out Trella. Now, can Zalewski get a little revenge for the Polish here against Max Heidrich? He hasn't really been tested. He didn't get a battle against Michael Reichardt, which looks like a stroke of luck, but sometimes it can play as a disadvantage without getting to pace a car.
You literally took the words right out of my mouth there, Dave. I was just going to say Max Heidrich, yeah, he's been untested in this competition so far, and I think that plays into mind when you look at Christian Eriksen. Somebody's untested, track conditions changing, as Eli Hutanji said earlier on in that interview with Eddie. Max Heidrich, though, local guy, this is his playground, if you like, so...
Well, these are both
fan favorite.
Two guys that maybe from different countries and different styles of vehicle, but they've had similar misfortune this year. Max Heidrich going through 82,500 engines, I think is the exact amount. He's been through a lot of engines, a lot of problems there. Zalewski going through drive shafts, but he's starting to climb back up that championship. Imagine Zalewski into the top 10 of the championship, did not score a single point at round 1 in his home event. Defending that championship is not going to be a possibility now, but to get back in the mix is big for him, and he's only 18 years of age. So Heidrich, he's got the home crowd advantage here. They're going to be behind him for this entire battle. Interesting to see which one this will play out.
So these guys get the green light and they are good to go. It will be Adam Zalewski to lead in Max Heidrich, as Heidrich now hunts down the back bumper of that Zestino Tyres BMW E30. As Heidrich throws on big angle to slow the car down, gets back on the throttle nice and early. Very wise move there from Max Heidrich as he gets close to the door of the 18-year-old superstar. Pushes nice and close as Zalewski goes across the line, and looked like Zalewski ran out of pace a little bit, Dave.
You know what, I was just about to say how fast he was at the start of the run, but Heidrich in the chase position makes a really good decision here. He's going almost too fast in the chase position. He goes on big angle. You think he's going to spin. Look at this, almost at 90 degrees. And does he drop off the circuit was the one thing I was noticing. That's going to be interesting for the judges. And the judges giving us the symbol of 2, which means that there was 2 wheels off the circuit for Max Heidrich. So even though it was a good chase run, he had 2 wheels onto the green outer curb, which means that he is on a 0. So that's what I'm deducting from the symbol I've been given from the judges, and they had a good look at that one in the replay. And yeah, so even though Zalewski, you know, didn't boss the occasion, Heidrich, while I was about to say made a great move, in fact dropped too wide off the circuit, put 2 wheels essentially off the circuit beyond the curb, and now he is at a huge deficit.
Yeah, big misfortune there for Max Heidrich. I never caught that. Was too wowed by his manoeuvre there as he threw it backwards angle and slowed the car down.
I would have given him the advantage just for being awesome, just for going on 90 degrees. And these guys have big steering angle kits, Ian, as you know. I don't think they're getting the value for money out of these kits, because I've only seen 2 or 3 guys pull moves like that. It was sensationally entertaining, but unfortunately it wasn't the correct move to make if you're going off the circuit. Zalewski will maybe know this, maybe not know this. Let's see how he approaches the chase position. He could hold back a little bit here and be a little tentative if he wanted to take the win, but that isn't the style of Adam Zalewski. He's 18 years of age. If you ever try to tell an 18-year-old to do anything and they ever listen to anybody older than them, well, that's probably what's going to play out here.
Yeah, Adam Zalewski's not going to do that. We know he likes to get nice and close to the door, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Does he know that Heidrich is sitting with a 0? I'm unsure of that one, but they both go off the line giving 110%.
Oh, Zalewski with a big dive on the first corner, and he's coming for blood here. No need to be this close, but he's fired it in behind, and Heidrich again off the circuit. That's definitely, and Zalewski says, see you later, buddy. I'm going to the top 8, forget about it.
Yeah, Zalewski with a big overtake, and Heidrich now sitting back in that chase position, and a textbook run there from Adam Zalewski. Unfortunately, Max Heidrich knows he's made a huge error.
Yeah, and if you're watching drifting for the first time, you're going to say, why don't they all overtake each other? That seems like a great way of winning the battle. Well, essentially, you've got to overtake on the correct line, which would be on the inside of the next corner right here. As you can see, Heidrich goes way too much, definitely 4 wheels almost off the track. Zalewski stays on pretty much the right line, sees the opening, and goes for it. And once you can do that legally, we call it a legal overtake in a run, well, that's another 10-0. So he would have had 2 10-0s against Max Heidrich, which would make it a very simple decision for the judges. They don't often get them, but I think, you know, we're no experts, Ian, and, you know, you've been wrong in the past. I haven't, but that's how it works out. I think on this one, it's going to be wrapped up. Adam Zalewski going through to the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll be very, very surprised if Adam Zalewski doesn't advance through. And Max Heidrich, you know what, I think he just, again, Dave, I think it comes into play, the untested driver. I think the untested driver who didn't get a real good battle in top 32 has now kind of fall to that.
Absolutely, and of course, I'm not saying you're wrong in your assumptions, Ian. I'm just not saying you're right. That's somewhere in the middle, the grey area.
Somewhere in the middle.
So let's see which way the judges go as we wrap up quite a predictable one, I think, there. And Heidrich going very, very hot on both runs, but not working out from there. Let's see if our judges agree. Zalewski and Heidrich, who's going to go through? Kieran, Kevin, and David, unanimous. Adam Zalewski goes through to our top 8 once again. What a run he's on towards the end of the season, and he's into the top 8, ready for action. And next up, a very interesting battle on the line. It will be 2 Irish drivers who have met each other many times in competitions. Both have not only competed against each other, but they live within 1 mile of each other in Ireland, and here they find themselves on an F1 circuit in Hockenheim. And James Deane and Jack Shanahan go up against each other, both guys ex-Irish champions. And here's a little teaser if you're new to drifting. The man in the white car, well, he was taught everything he knows by the man in the green car. The man in the green car has just won the championship. Jack Shanahan has not had the perfect season. It'll be interesting to see here if he can actually take down his mentor and put a stamp on this championship. This is a real all-Irish affair. Let's see how it goes down.
As Jack Shanahan tags on the back bumper of James Deane's car. Jack Shanahan throwing everything out that he knows that James Deane is a 2018 Drift Masters European champion. Deane, absolute textbook, but wide on that front clip, makes an error. James Deane is getting nailed at the moment, though, by Jack Shanahan. And Jack Shanahan makes a lovely dive onto the door and pushes him across the finish line.
That's a statement right there. I mean, Jack Shanahan has come in as a 2-time UK champion, 1-time Irish champion, current Irish champion. This is a pretty good run from both of these drivers, but Deane, perfect through the first section. As you mentioned, Deane, makes a little error here. Look, watch, washes very wide onto the curb and has to stall up a little bit and misses that inside clip where Shanahan says, well, if you're going to make a little error, I'm going to punish you for it. And look at this transition. Boom, onto the door he goes. Impressive stuff from Jack Shanahan. Even though he's not had a good season, if you beat James Deane, it's almost like winning your own little championship to yourself, because there's very few people on this grid that can say they have beaten James Deane, and Shanahan is one of those. He has beaten James Deane in the past. You would assume on the form they're on now that James Deane would have all the advantage, but the crowd here, you can hear the delight of Jack Shanahan from the German fans getting a good run in there. It's going to be interesting to see if Deane can reply.
I think James Deane's got his work cut out here, and that's a bold statement for me to come out with, but Jack Shanahan looks on form today, and you know what, you can't kick a man who's looking on form, and you definitely can't put a man down. Jake Shanahan's going to be sitting on that start line feeling very, very confident right now.
A little tension as they look across at each other. Two guys that live just down the road from each other, have traveled all over the world. Well, here they meet each other in Hockenheim. Light will go green, and both of these guys know that the next 40 seconds can be a lot of bragging rights here.
Yeah, and off the line, James Dean and Jack Shanahan as James Dean tags onto the back bumper of Jack Shanahan. Jack Shanahan throws big angle at it, and Dean all over the side. Look at the transition from Jack Shanahan. James Dean makes the overtake. Unbelievable stuff as the grandstand erupts in a cheer, and Jack Shanahan gives in and just drives the rest of the run as James Dean proves why he is the 2018 Drift Masters European champion.
You know what? Have we ever seen 2 overtakes in 2 runs in a row? I don't think we've seen that before. You can see Shanahan comes in hot, but he transitions way too aggressive here, gets onto the curbs and puts 2 wheels off. Dean sneaks by on the inside and says, hey, you know what? You're good, but you're not James Dean good. And that's exactly what he's saying right there. But Jack Shanahan, I think another driver. We know Jack's credentials. He's a phenomenal driver, an amazing competitor, but I think he pushed that a little too hard. I think he tried to be sensational, but maybe the simpler run would have done, and maybe wasn't aware of the mistake Dean had made on the first run. So let's see, he shuts it down, so we'd imagine a predictable result. Slide him left for Jack Shanahan, right for James Dean. I think this is going to be another predictable one. And James Dean gets the win and goes through to the top 8. Shanahan, you can see shaking hands there. These 2 guys are good friends, good neighbors. I mean, neighbors meeting each other at this level of competition. You take 22 nations from all across the world and Europe, and 2 guys who live half a mile from each other end up in this situation. So incredible stuff as Dean marches on, and I think no real need to go to the judges there because Shanahan shut down. He gave up on the run. So another driver through to the top 8. Impressive stuff. And we move along the order.
Yeah, so the next battle moving along will be Kajetan Ruutinä to take on Mikael Overgaard.
You spoke about Ruutinä and his form on this track. I love the car, firstly. I mean, it's one of my favorites, I'm not going to lie. But also, his consistency here over the last 2 days. It's going to be very tough for Mikael Overgaard, who, in his last battle, was just punched straight through the door by Sebastian Fonten. So he's been in the wars already. This is going to be interesting.
Well, one thing to note, Dave, is that if Kajetan Ruutinä beats Mikael Overgaard in this battle, he will be facing off with James Dean in the Grade 8, who he did beat here previous years. So Kajetan Ruutinä are going to be looking to go through Mikael Overgaard as they both get the green light and cap off the line.
Overgaard with the craziest 360 out of a crash I've ever seen in the last. Oh, and almost another crash as they initiate. Ruutinä pushing in hard here, and look at this, Overgaard not having an answer. That Mercedes-Benz in front of the Mercedes-Benz Tribune. Well, it's so obvious that he is loving this track because he is looking right good. But Mikael Overgaard now starting to make that push towards the rear bumper. And you know what? You take a sort of a late 80s Mercedes-Benz, you put in an American V8, and you think...
Mercedes
supercharged V8, my mistake. Wow, sacrilegious where I'm standing right now. So Mercedes car with Mercedes power in front of the Mercedes grandstand, looking sensational.
Yeah, Kajetan Ruutinä there laid it all out on the line. Has been putting down that really, really good qualifying lead run all day and proving his worth here in the championship. And like you say, that Mercedes-Benz in front of the Mercedes-Benz Tribune that we're commentating from, really paying homage to the brand as they make their way back to the start line. Mikael Overgaard is going to have to be thinking about what he's going to do now in that lead position. He's going to have to try and outdrive Kajetan Ruutinä, but Ruutina's very fast.
He is, and again, not showing any weaknesses, not really showing that pace or angle or nerves or confidence. It's any sort of weakness to him. He's going to be tough right now, and again, he'll probably realize from the first one that he has the pace to stay with Overgaard. Overgaard, you know, we've counted this guy out numerous times in the past when he's looked bad on a first run, and the Danish drivers come back and just been sensational on the balance. So let's see if he can get himself back into the fight.
So they get the green light and they are good to go. It will be Mikael Overgaard to lead out Kajetan Ruutinä. As Overgaard fires it in now, look at the angle that Mikael Overgaard has thrown at that first front clipping point. Rutten at very shallow angle, trying to keep the pace. Rutten making a lovely dive as he slows that car down perfectly to get onto the door of that 180SX.
Oh, but he got lost in the smoke a little bit, Ian. He couldn't see where the track was. Now he's completely blind, and I think he's off track here. I think he's losing ground badly, and that's what happened. The James Bond smoke screen went up, and Rutten could not see. He just lost that little bit of ground, and that can be all the difference. Here, look at Overgaard. So much smoke and pops and bangs and craziness from that car. Now watch Rutten. He comes into this corner, all's looking good, but watch him get stuck in the smoke cloud. Look, he's completely not know where he is, goes too deep, falls a little bit off the track, and now he's completely blind coming into the last corner. He's guessing where it is, and if you look at it, I just looked over my shoulder, Ian, sneakily, and he was pretty far off the correct line. So just when you thought, do you know what? I'm going to put my house on Mikael Overgaard battles in the future, because the odds would be so high and he generally comes through. So this one is right in the balance. I would not like to be making a call here. Great first run from Rutten. Overgaard, though, bringing it back with the smoke screen on the second run. Impressive display from both of these guys.
So as we await the score to drop in, you can see Mikael Overgaard out of his car. Can he get more of that success that he likes to see, or can Rutten take it through to battle James Deane in the Great 8?
Well, it's like Fast and the Furious. It's not how you stand by your car, it's how you drive your car, and that's what they're being judged on. And Overgaard and Rutten will not know which way this one's going. We don't know which way this is going. The audience don't know which way this one's going. You guys at home don't know which way this one's going. The judges are still deliberating, so they don't know which way this one's going. So let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that these guys who come here in such variety of machinery can be that close.
Yeah, listen, Kajetan Rutten, yeah, you're right. He got lost in the smoke. It's very, very hard for me to even see where he'd gone after Mikael Overgaard put up that smoke screen. And it'd be a shame to see him bow out of competition now. I'd like to see him have another shot with James Deane, and I'm pretty sure James Deane would like to have another shot against Kajetan Rutten after that misfortune last time.
But I'm liking this unpredictability of Overgaard. I'm liking the fact that he's just a little bit wiry. You don't know. I mean, he's exciting. He can pull it out when it needs to. So let's see who's going to get the win. Will it be Denmark? Will it be Poland? Slide him left for Mikael Overgaard. Slide him right for Kajetan Rutten. Who is going to get the win? David says one more time. Kevin, we're going one more time. One more time for Overgaard and Rutten, and you just can't count these guys out. That was an interesting one, guys. Talk us through it from your perspective.
Okay, if we look on the lead runs, Kajetan had way better lead run than Mikael. Mikael was struggling with his lead run, but the opposite way, if we look on the chase runs, that was big struggle, especially at the last part of the track by Kajetan. So if we compare lead to lead, chase to chase, we really need to go one more time.
So no separating the Mercedes-Benz and that 180SX, Denmark and Poland. They're going back at it again. We'll come back to that later on, Ian, as we move it along.
Yeah, and the next one on the board, Dave, will be a big one again. Vasiliauskas, Andreas Vasiliauskas to take on Nigel Coulthard. Nigel Coulthard not having an easy ride, had to go one more time against Torani Kvyat. Now he has a big battle on his hands, and tell you what, they would have been watching Vasiliauskas and noticing the pace that he has in that car.
It's like he's running on rocket fuel. The thing is just insane. Lifting front wheels with the amount of grip. Coulthard's going to have to give it everything he has here. But I'm liking Vasiliauskas' style this weekend. He had a steering issue in the last round, got away with just his opponent going 2 wheels off track. But look again, the pace difference is monumental here.
Yeah, look at Andreas Vasiliauskas as he fires that car through the first turn. Nigel Coulthard doing everything he can to try and keep up with him. Vasiliauskas scrubs some speed with the foot brake. And Coulthard now starts to make the dive onto the door, but Vasiliauskas stands on that loud pedal, and like you say, the rocket just accelerates away and out of the hands of Nigel Coulthard.
Yeah, I think Coulthard gave it everything he had there, but I mean, what do you do when the guy just puts a gear on and
look at this.
Like there is 2 or 3 car lengths there. Look at the car is
on 3 wheels.
On 3 wheels, just sitting on those rear tires. And whatever way they've set this car up this weekend, Ian, it's, you know, there's a little bit of magic sauce mixed in there because
they're taking notes off their Mustangs from America.
I think so. I mean, I think they're taking notes off the Dukes of Hazzard because these cars are jumping around the place now. And that, to me, at that speed, to be squatting down, and I mean, you got to remember when it does that, he's looking at the sky as he's coming through the corner. I mean, he's looking up because, but whatever way they've dialed that car in, I'm not sure if anybody's got the pace for Andreas Vasiliauskas right now.
It looks like they made some huge suspension changes just for this circuit alone. Andreas Vasiliauskas would have drove this track before and said, look, we know we could get away with running huge amounts of grip here. We've got the horsepower to back it up, and we've got the tyre. So let's get the grip in the car and let's see if anyone can catch us. It's one way to win a battle, right?
But let's put it this way, Andreas Vasiliauskas has not completed a clean chase run today. He crashed in the first half of his battle against Ivo Ciroulis. Then in the second run he shut down because his steering broke. So this is where he's really going to be tested, is if he can hang with Nigel Colfer. Colfer's been solid in the lead, so let's see what happens.
Yes, Colfer now fires in. Vasiliauskas is already on big angle behind him, ploughing out a serious amount of smoke. Vasiliauskas transitions back now, starts to hunt on the door, but he's carrying a lot of speed. He's going to go very wide now. Can he rein it back in and get on the door? Colfer, very technical, very good run from Colfer in that lead position, fulfilling all of those clipping zones. Takes it over the line. Good stuff from Colfer and Vasiliauskas.
Yeah, great run, but I mean, Vasiliauskas does make an error there. I mean, on initiation, he sort of dropped Colfer down on big angle there, as you can see, but that's okay if you're going to keep it consistent. Vasiliauskas though makes the error here. He puts a big angle in, as you can imagine, and then sort of washes way wide off at the circuit. And the judges will be watching that.
He shortcuts the circuit as well there, Dave. It's important to know he cuts out that outer zone. So, you know what, for me, I think Colfer could have reined back a few points. Could we see Colfer have it one more time again? He's not going to get an easy weekend, that's for sure.
No, they're certainly going through fuel and tyres down in the Acorn Insurance Camp. And from my perspective, this is a close one. Vasiliauskas perfect in his lead run, Colfer with no proximity. And then in the second half, Vasiliauskas makes an error, Colfer doesn't. Does that balance it, or had Vasiliauskas enough over the two runs?
No, I'm going to call it. I'm going to say it's a one more time for sure.
You think it's a one more time?
I think it's a one more time. Personally, if I was a judge, that was how I'd call it.
Yeah. Well,
judges might have seen something I didn't know, Dave.
And they often do.
And they see everything I don't see.
Yeah, but you've been wrong in the past. I would never mention that publicly, but you've done a lot of poor decision making in this championship so far, and I'm just now that we've got a quiet moment just between the two of us, I'm going to mention that.
No one else can hear.
Yeah. So Andreas Vasiliauskas and Colfer, as you can see, having a conversation after the run. They're not going to know which way it's gone. Judges making that deliberation now, and it's tense moments here. It means a lot to both of these guys.
I wonder, could Nigel Colfer take it through? Could I be that wrong that Nigel Colfer did do everything the judges were looking for and he didn't put a foot wrong?
Don't doubt yourself, Ian.
No, I am now. Because I'm looking at Nigel Colfer and I'm replaying the battle in my mind and I'm saying, you know what, that was a huge error from
Yeah,
Vasiliauskas.
well, you made
a big error. And he shortcut the
I'm
circuit.
sorry for knocking your confidence. You were very confident about a one more time, but now you're starting to switch the other way.
I'm not going to lie, Dave. I'm going to let everyone know. I just want to see him battle all the time because I love Vasiliauskas popping that wheel. It's just entertaining for me.
To be honest, that's a selfish move, Ian. Just trying to make the decisions work out just for entertainment's sake. To be honest, we pretty much do that every time. We just want the entertaining battles, but every battle today has been very entertaining. And Colfer and Vasiliauskas, this is a nervous moment for a driver when they just stand there going, yeah, and their team probably have said, we don't know. And the fact that the judges are still discussing it and maybe not. It looks like scores may have been dropping in while we were chatting, and there you have it. Scores have dropped in. Left for Colfer, right for Vasiliauskas. Who is going to take the win? One vote for Nigel Colfer. And 2 votes. Nigel Colfer gets the win unanimously over Vasiliauskas and moves through to the top 8. Not going to, good shout, Ian. You changed at the last moment, and we want to see which way the judges go. You guys were having a pretty long conversation there.
Yeah, that battle was actually very tough and very, very close overall. If you take it back to the first run, Vasiliauskas' lead definitely was far from ideal. On the first corner, he had a very large wobble, and he had a very sizable cuts then from outer zone 4, 5, and 6, completely off the line. Nigel, he didn't have much proximity at the start of the run, but he really closed the gap and capitalized on Vasiliauskas' poor line. He really stuck to that qualifying line, which is faster, and was able to get it back on Vasiliauskas' door for the last of the track. You switch him around then, Nigel had a really, really good lead run. The only thing that I could fault him on here was that he was a little bit shallow on the first corner, but his qualifying line was absolutely dialed in. Vasiliauskas, on the other hand, he really didn't have a good chase, and he was really offline. First corner was good, but the second that he transitioned back off of outer zone 2, he barely got outer zone 3 and washed way wide then on inner clip 2. Completely missed outer zone 4, 5, and 6 then to try and get it back onto Nigel's door, and we can't award that proximity then because he was completely off the qualifying line. So over the 2 runs, Nigel came away with a slight advantage from both of them, but it was very, very close.
Well, there you have it. The judges having a good thing. I mean, you know what? We called it, but we didn't go into that sort of level of detail. We were just going on a hunch, but it's nice to hear it laid out like that. Now we go to Chirba and Kieran. It will be Lithuania against Romania. 2 guys, you know what? We're an unknown entity, I think, in Kieran here, because we haven't seen him in this car. We haven't seen him comfortable, and now he's looking like a real contender. Chirba, we've mentioned, I mean, we've watched him all season. Super consistent driver. This is going to be very, very close.
Very close indeed, Dave. Like you say, we're seeing now Kaelin in that BMW E30, but look at Benedictus Chirba as he fires that car through. Unbelievable pace. And a big error there from Kaelin as he almost goes 4 wheels off circuit. Big angle transition there from Chirba as he nails that lead line. And look at that, almost 10 cars between them as they come across the line.
Yeah, big mistake there from Kieran in the Monster Energy E30 BMW. Chirba, on the other hand, this guy just can't be stopped. Super consistent, doesn't even look like he's under pressure, and he pulls 10 car lengths. But that all stems from this mistake from Kieran as he now straightens up, shoots through the corner. Too much pace, has to slow it down, come off throttle, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, huge error there from Kaelin Korten. Benedictus Chirba, though, looking strong, and like we say, this guy progressing as we move through the championship and really proving himself as we...
He's a star, and I think, you know, the more we watch him, the more we realize how much of a player he's going to be in the future of European drifting. Really, really nice guy to talk to, real level-headed, but also his style, his consistency. I think this guy is going to be trouble in the future for everybody on that grid because he gets better and better and better. And right now, you know, you're in a track that he's not too familiar with, and he is one of those guys that, you know, I would not doubt him going all the way today. That's how much confidence I have in his ability right now.
That's a very big statement.
It is. It is a big statement. I make big statements for breakfast. Doesn't make any sense. But
that makes no sense.
Doesn't have to. It's drifting. So now you can see Kieran does return to the line. Now he's got a chance to get back into this, but he's in the lead position. He can't afford to make any errors. Chirba, well, if my big statement is going to be backed up, he's got to put this on the door, right?
Well, we'd like to think so. They get the green light, and as you can hear, both cars screaming away from 9. It will be Kaelin Korten sending it in as Benedictus Chirba now looks for the back end, and Korten fires it on big angle, but it's very shallow. He's going to hop the curb. He certainly does, as Chirba sticks it to the door on a straighten. As Chirba finds himself absolutely perfect on circuit, while Kaelin makes a whole host of mistakes out front. A very scrappy battle from the lead car.
I'm standing by my statement. The man had a good chase run, and the lead run was very messy. That's a good driver right there.
And now, look, for me, watch Benedictus Chirba. He's a very, very technical driver. As you see the transition here, look, he can almost tell what's going on, and he's like, listen, I'm just going to stick to my own line. I'm going to do my own thing. Here, puts on more angle to avoid contact, stays in the outer zones. Very, very good driving for Benedictus Chirba.
Turning in, one to watch. One to watch. So we now await a decision from our judges to see exactly which way it's going to go. Chirba arrives back to the line. He's sort of looking for this decision. He's arrived pretty early as Kieran now joins him on the finish line. Who will get another spot in the top 8? Remember, we go back to the one more time between Overgaard and Rutina, but this is a decision for another top 8 position. Chirba or Kieran? Will it be Lithuania? Will it be Romania? Who is going through to the top 8? Kieran, Kevin, and David, unanimous for Benedictus Chirba as he goes through to our top 8. So, a pretty obvious one there, and our judges saying anyone at home could figure that one out. But our man on the ground, Eddie Power, he's in the pits with Adam Zalewski, who's charging hard.
I'm here with former champ Adam Zalewski. Adam, it's been a tough season, and unfortunately for you, James Dean has taken your crown, but no way to answer back them with a podium here today. It's eluded you so far this season. Can you take the win today?
Hopefully there will be like a good run with Borkowski. Yesterday we had a good day with the training, with the practice. I hope that there will be a good battle, and we will give a lot of show for the crowd.
And of course, this is the second time in 2 rounds that you and Borkowski have gone up against each other. You crashed out the last time. Hopefully, no repeat of that this time.
Yeah, hopefully I won't crash. I feel good on this track. I feel it every corner, so I will push him as hard as I can, and I guess he will also push me because he's a really good driver. And yeah, soon we'll be driving, so.
Well, still very much in the hunt for a top 3 spot in the championship. We wish you the best of luck in your next battle.
Yeah, there's for sure some chances for top 3 in the top battle. So hopefully I can get there and yeah, be on the 3 or 2nd or 1st place.
Best of luck.
So Adam Zalewski there, he was the defending champion, and he didn't defend it successfully, but he could still get a couple of trophies for the cabinets. We're now going back to Rutina against Overgaard. Well, this is turning into a little bit of a stalemate. These guys, 2 different styles, 2 different machines, but they're back at it again.
Yeah, and Mikael Overgaard bringing a load of aggression off the start line. You can hear him slamming through the gears and smoking the tyres, but looks like he's giving it all away at the moment as he throws on big angle. Kajetan Rutina sends it in. Now Mikael Overgaard starts to make the hunt back on the door, but Kajetan Rutina just looks like he's got the grip and the pace in that car as he starts to drive away. And Overgaard not really putting anything on the plate there.
No, Rutina looks strong, looked really, really strong on that run, and I think that every run we see him take of this course, he just gets that little bit more fluid. That I think it's, as you mentioned earlier on in the show, Ian, muscle memory. You start to get into a flow, you start to get into a vibe that you're doing something similar every time. That's another perfect run. Overgaard, he is just a wild human being. Like that guy, you know, he's one of those guys you wouldn't want to go on a night out with, I think. I think you'd either end up, you know, dead or have the best night of your life. You're not sure though, you're spinning that wheel because that guy is crazy, and I think one of the most entertaining drivers on the grid for the whole season, but sometimes entertainment value doesn't work with the criteria of the judging. So let's see what happens on the second. We've counted him out, what, 3 times today? Bets are off here.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth again, and Mikael Overgaard, he's wild, absolutely wild. It's like he can't control himself, and he's a very flamboyant driver, very outlandish. He likes to put on big angle and create big clouds of smoke, and listen, why not? This is a style-based sport, so go for it. As Mikael Overgaard and Kajetan Rutina sit on the line, they both look for the green light. And it will be Mikael Overgaard to lead out Kajetan Rutina for a spot in the Great 8. As now Mikael Overgaard takes charge and starts to pull away on a very nice line, nice and deep into the outer zones, but he fires it in wide. Can he make it work? He certainly can. Absolutely smoking out Kajetan Rutina. Rutina not falling foul to the smoke screen this time. Sticks on a good qualifying line, no proximity, but he stays behind and does exactly what the judges asked him to do.
How does anybody know what he did? Nobody knows what Kajetan Rutina did there because I didn't see him.
You couldn't see him.
Just couldn't see him at all. That car of Mikael Overgaard just creates so much smoke. Look at this. Just once he puts the power down, everything disappears. And Rutina's like, where am I? What's happening? Am I on the same track? He stays in it, but again, the pace of Mikael Overgaard's car, and it's got that big lock-to-lock style. I'm telling you, it's that wild nature. It can work in your favor at times.
Yeah, and he's not slow either. He carries a big angle and lots of wheel speed, but he's not slow. He travels through the circuit very, very fast. As we await the decision to come in from our judges, they're just discussing this one.
Yeah, making every bit of use of that 730 horsepower he has in that car, Mikael Overgaard. And you know, he's had some big successes in the past, and Rutina, I mean, he gives away a little bit of power there. I mean, it's amazing to think that you can have 550 horsepower. That's more than a Ferrari, and be not the biggest dog in the fight.
So as Mikael Overgaard patiently awaits the side of his car for the decision from our judges, he will be absolutely blown away if he gets a spot in the Great 8. But he will be battling James Dean. Who is going to take it though, Dave?
Yeah, slide him left for Overgaard, right for Kajetan Rutina. Denmark or Poland, who will get the call and go through to the top 8? One vote for Overgaard. Will he get the win? Will he get another vote? He does! Mikael Overgaard goes to the top 8. What a turn of fortune for this man throughout this competition, becoming one of the biggest fan favorites in the Drift Masters European Championship. Guys, talk us through it. Very different runs.
Yeah, that run was actually closer than it looked. On our first run, Rittinen had quite a good lead run, pretty much on the qualifying line the whole way throughout. Overgaard didn't have a whole pile of proximity at the start, but once he got past inner clip 2, he started to reel in Rittinen a little bit. He did have to cut the track a little bit to gain that proximity, but it wasn't too. He didn't have to sacrifice the line too much. Then you switch him around, and Overgaard's lead run was absolutely amazing. It was seat of the pants stuff there, really. He was on the qualifying line, but just so close to going off, pushing the limits the whole way around. Unfortunately, Rittinen didn't really have proximity from the get-go and really didn't reel Overgaard in for the whole lap. So Overgaard came away with an advantage for the lead run and for the chase run and takes the win overall.
Fantastic stuff. And Mikael Overgaard, what a man. I might have a Mikael Overgaard poster on my wall in the next week or two because he is awesome. But what about this? Paweł Korpelinski qualified first. The man representing Poland goes up against Germany's Joe Hutonji, one of the Red Bull Drift brothers. 700 horsepower versus 815 horsepower. Two guys on incredible form this weekend. This is going to be when the real competition heats up, Ian, because these guys are on it.
Yeah, both these guys are very, very hungry to continue into the top 4. And I was just taking a little look at who is in the Great 8, and I'm pretty sure that there's only 3 of these drivers that have made it this far in competition so far. Everybody else is new to it. As these guys come off the line, it will be Korpelinski to lead in Hutonji, and Hutonji all over the back bumper of that BMW 1M as he now starts to force Paweł Korpelinski around the circuit, but separation as Joe Hutonji shallows up. Little left foot brake from Hutonji. Now Korpelinski backed into it. And Hutonji on the door. Can Hutonji be the man to take down Korpelinski? Almost contact. Unbelievable chase driving from Joe Hutonji.
That's impressive. That was impressive. That last transition from Joe Hutonji, he risked it all there, and I think he's going to get rewarded for it. I mean, he stayed with him right from the first initiation, didn't let Korpelinski get away from him through the whole track. Hutonji's getting better and better. There's a hunger there. Could be that hometown feel that, you know, he's been around here. He's had the pleasure of bringing the Red Bull F1 team for spins around here. Look at this transition. Whoa, incredible. He had Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo around here in that car for a couple of passenger spins. He likes it around here, local boy, and I think he's done a lot of work there. Korpelinski, for the first time today, I think is under serious pressure.
Yeah, Korpelinski would be on the radio now as they head back to the start line, and Korpelinski's spotter's going to be saying to him, listen, this guy just pretty much put it on your door and showed you why he is the King of Europe 2017 champion, and hey, you might be the Swedish champion, but this guy knows this track. So Korpelinski now is going to be thinking to himself, listen, I haven't really stuck it on the door so far in this top 32.
You know, I think Joe Hutonji's saying I've got half the job done here because I was close. Not too many people have been. Even the best guys here today have been tough track to get close on with all those big acceleration and deceleration zones. Hutonji's done a great job, one of the best chase runs today. Korpelinski now, as he slams that car into gear, he's got to ask himself, what I got to do? He's got to be risking it for the first time. Mr. Scalextric's got to risk it. Well, that's when this championship pushes you to and beyond your limits, and that's where he's at right now.
Well, as they fire through the gears, Joe Hutonji fires it in. A look at the speed of Joe Hutonji as Korpelinski puts a foot wrong. First time all day. Hutonji stays in it. Now Korpelinski starts to rein in some proximity and starts to hunt down the side of that Red Bull Drift Brothers 180SX, but no proximity from Korpelinski as they come through the center of the circuit. Hutonji stands on it and takes them both across the line.
No, I don't know.
No.
I don't know. That was pretty good from both drivers, but Hutonji's looking good out there, and I think Korpelinski, this is the first mistake, as you said, Ian, he's made all day. Boom, hits that cone, drops the wheel on the inside of the course.
I think that could be enough. I think that one error, I think that one drop of the wheel could be enough to see Korpelinski bow out competition. Apart from that, it was very, very good for both guys.
I think when you get to this stage of the competition where these guys have done so many runs, they've already proven themselves, it does take small margins to decide battles, and Oh, I mean, the judges are going to have to come down to even smaller margins by the time we get down to the actual finals, I think. But incredible stuff from both these guys from Germany and Poland. But one of them will go through to the top 8, and my mistake, the top 4. Wow, we're top 4 already. This thing has just been flying through, Ian.
Yeah, final 4.
For 2 shots at the podium, Joe Hutonji and Paweł Korpelinski. Slide him left for Hutonji, right for Korpelinski, who is going through to the top 4. It's going to be Joe Hutonji. The German driver goes through to the top 4. Got to come quickly to you guys for a quick explanation on the German driver progressing through to the top 4.
2 very similar lead lines there, almost equal, so it really all comes down to the chase runs. Joe was extremely aggressive on the first corner. He did fall back a little bit from outer zone 2 to 3, but then he managed to get right back on Korpelinski's door, especially from 4 to 6, without sacrificing line too much. So he definitely had an advantage coming away from the first run. Unfortunately, Joe's speed on the second run, I think, upset Korpelinski a little bit. He didn't have much proximity at the start, and he had dropped a wheel at inner clip 1. He did stay on the qualifying line, but until clipping point 5 to 6, and he really did a fairly large cut there, and he didn't have enough proximity to justify that cut. So Joe coming away with a slight advantage over that run as well, and taking the win overall.
There you have it, and right down, we're with Eddie Power. He's in the pits with an ecstatic Mikael Overgaard.
I'm here with Mikael Overgaard. Mikael, they keep lining them up and you just keep knocking them out of the park. You are on a real roll here this weekend.
I don't know what fuck going on, but just my day.
So far this season, you've taken down a former Irish champion in Jack Shanahan. You've taken down Nigel Colfer. Today, you've taken down Sebastian Fonten. And you're about to go up against former Irish champion, current Formula D champion, and current European Drift Masters champion, James Deane. But that's not going to be a problem for you, is it?
But he makes a good lead run, and I just have to follow that and make the same for him.
Car running a little bit hot. You just said it went into a survival mode going into the last corner. It's going to be okay, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the guys is cooling it down all the time, so we hope for the best.
Mikael, you're picking up a lot of fans. We're really enjoying watching you, and who knows, you could be just about to take down James Deane. Best of luck.
I hope. Thank you.
What a character. What a man. Mikael Overgaard heading out against James Deane in just a few moments' time, but we head to the line for an all-Polish battle. Adam Zalewski up against Paweł Borkowski. Borkowski, he's beaten Zalewski in the last round in Torun. Zalewski ended up in the wall. Borkowski took the win. Well, talk about some revenge. Zalewski is going to be looking for that right now. Remember, Borkowski looking at Hipke going out top 32. I think Borkowski's climbing right up into the top 2 or 3 in the championship if he can get the job done here. But Zalewski's chasing him hard as they come off the line. This is going to be a heavyweight battle. Here we go.
Look at the way that Zalewski fires that car in absolute confidence, but Borkowski chasing down the tail of the ex-champion. Oh, and contact as Borkowski hits the back of Zalewski's car, but they stay in it, and Zalewski uses a nudge to push himself a little bit further away from Paweł Borkowski.
Yeah, big mistake for Borkowski, went too aggressive there. And you know what I'm always saying about this guy? He's one of the most aggressive chase drivers on the planet, but it doesn't always work in your favor. And in that case, it looked like he went a little too hot, hit Zalewski. Zalewski, to give him credit, stayed in it, didn't spin, just kept the car moving, but it was enough to slow Borkowski's momentum and knock him back. Look at this, boom, on the door, and it almost puts Borkowski into a half spin, and then he's stuck. He just can't get back into the fight. So Zalewski looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, Zalewski doing a very, very good job in that lead position. Now we know he likes to get nice and close on the chase. He's got the pace in that car. Can he keep up with Paweł Borkowski? We know Borkowski's been really laying it out there this weekend. We await those guys to return back to the start line, Dave. And I was just taking a quick look at the notes and, you know, thinking about the Nations Championship. And after this battle, there'll only be one Polishman in the top 4.
Well, that's going to switch it up because we have 2 Irishmen left in the top 8.
And that could then switch the points for the championship for the.
But we also have Mikael Overgaard, who's from outer space, so he's going to bring a whole new nation.
But we have a Lithuanian in it, and we have Mikael Overgaard, which is he?
He's not from this planet.
Danish, is it? I do believe.
He says he's Danish, but he's not from this planet. The way he's driving this weekend. No, I'm 100% convinced he is not from here.
He said he's Weetabix this morning.
He has,
that's for sure.
I think he's had 2. just gone all out there. A little bit of sugar, and probably a lot of sugar.
A lot of sugar.
To drive that way. He got crushed into at 80 miles an hour and pulled a 360.
It's the Haribo.
It could be.
It's the Haribo.
So Burkowski lines up. Well, he's shunted Zalewski in the first run, and the clock ticking down. Where's Zalewski gone?
So Zalewski hasn't made it to the line. Zalewski's in the pits. I can see his car. We've looked over our shoulder. I don't know if we can get a camera down there. Look, 15 seconds on the clock, 14.
Oh, there's a wheel off the
13.
car.
Oh, wow. So
There's
this is
a wheel off the car.
10 seconds to go. Can Zalewski make it to the line?
I don't think he can.
Or
Did
did the contact? Did the so?
Oh, it could have been the contact.
So we've got our judges, Dave.
Do you know what? I'm going to reiterate a rule that is one that so Zalewski doesn't make the clock. You think he's out, but hey, he's not. You know why? Because it's a competition timeout. Burkowski, we were too busy talking about Mikael Overgaard from outer space, but in that, obviously, Burkowski's made the contact with the rear end of Zalewski's car. Judges deeming it that it is going to be Burkowski's fault. He was the reason that collision happened. Therefore, Zalewski given a 10-minute competition timeout. So when we saw the clock, it's not a clock counting down for 2 minutes. He's got another 8 minutes in. Take a chill, relax.
Sorry, someone just didn't give us the information. That's what it was.
That's what
no one told us.
We usually know what's going on.
We normally know all of the hot gossip. We can normally tell you all the hot gossip.
Yeah.
No one told us, Dave. They were like, we'll make them wait.
The pits here are about 15 miles from where we are, so we've had carrier pigeons flying in with notes of what's going on in the pit, and I think one of those pigeons just got hit by something, or a drone or something on the way here. So we have the information now. You guys are up to speed. Zalewski has another, we'll say 7 or 8 minutes to get this car ready. Burkowski is on the line. Watch the contact as it happens. Burkowski pushing that little bit too hard. Look at this. As he transitions, he goes, I'm going to absolutely crash into you. Oh, and bang. And Zalewski's like, what was that? Did you hear something? I'm just too busy winning here. That's what happened. And Burkowski's like, he's gone.
Still couldn't beat him. Burkowski's like doing everything
well,
here.
I mean,
he's trying to damage your man's car, and I still can't beat him.
You know, Burkowski crashes here. We go back a couple of weeks to Torun, and it's Zalewski who crashes. So, you know, these things can go either way. But right now, that E30 jacked up and ready to put some wild tires and wheels on. And as you can see, our camera's struggling just from the sheer distance that this place is huge. I mean, if you've never been to the Hockenheim Ring, it's like a city. It's like, you know, there's towns and cities around the world that aren't as big as this circuit alone. It has its own economy. It has its own sort of infrastructure. It's crazy. Yeah, what a venue, what an occasion. Sitting here in a grandstand that I've passed many a time on the PlayStation or the Xbox, saying, oh, that's the big Mercedes-Benz Tribune. And here we are sitting in it, talking about drifting. Crazy how far the sport has come in just a few years.
Yeah, I mean, listen, very, very crazy, like you say. And look at that, the guys down there at Zalewski's team get that car back together and ready to rock and roll. And he is now making his way to the start line.
Yeah, this is, of course, the hot pits. This is the pits that is created for the top 16 to make those tire changes and fuel changes and cooling a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. I also has the biggest burnout box of any drift circuit I've ever seen in my life. It's about the size. We have, you know, in other countries done events in half the size of the burnout box in the Hockenheim Ring. That is how the scale of this event.
And can I just say that all of our drivers took full advantage. It was a brand new piece of tarmac when we turned up. It is now littered with burnout marks.
There's like 1 square foot that hasn't got a tire mark on it now.
I suppose that's what they are.
Just give them any opportunity. They're out there burning tires. I mean, I get it, but we'll just pretend we shunned it, but we really enjoyed it. So Zalewski now, he takes the advantage, I would imagine a pretty big advantage too, into this battle. He's in the chase position. He's got control of the battle. Burkowski's in the lead. He's just got to hope to not make any mistakes. Can Zalewski get the job done? Bit of revenge for round 4 in Poland, and get the job done and go to the top 4 to face Joe Hutonji, or will Burkowski pull something out of the bag? He's done it in the past.
So Adam Zalewski there just asking our start line marshal to have a quick look at the back of his car. Maybe something's still not quite right with it.
Well, that is where the contact was, Ian, and I'm wondering, is it a broken wheel, or is it obviously a different wheel or a different tire? But I'm wondering, is there an issue with the car? I mean, he's not going to have a choice but to go with it here anyway. I'm wondering, it's a little bit of a lack of confidence maybe in the car from Adam Zalewski there. Let's see what happens as they come off the line. Tension starts to build.
As both guys get the green light and they are good to go, it will be Paweł Borkowski to lead out Adam Zalewski, and Zalewski on the back end but not looking his usual self. Took a while there to initiate. Borkowski stands on the accelerator and starts to pull a little bit of distance. Zalewski starting to make a dive now on the inside as Borkowski transitions into the outer zone. And Zalewski all over him. Could this be enough for Zalewski to take it through to the final four as he puts it on the door and pushes Borkowski across the line?
Nice finish from Adam Zalewski as he just stamps his authority as they come over the line. Loving that finish. Really, really confident young man right now. 18 years of age from Poland. Current champion. He's just been redeemed himself back into that mix of why he was champion last year. I mean, that's, you know, he was starting the season quite poorly, but we've really seen the challenge he's mounting for the future of this championship. He's going in there as one of the favorites next year, regardless of the results from this point on. And nice to see him smiling and happy and car working again. He's had some really bad issues over the year. And again, podium eluding him in Riga. Mechanical issues knocked him out there. Crash in Poland. Now looking very comfortable. However, will the judges see it that way? Well, we're about to find out. As they roll up to receive their decision, Borkowski and Zalewski, who will go through to the final four. The winner will face Joe Hutonji in the top four. Borkowski, Zalewski. It's an all-Polish battle. We will have a Polish driver in the top four, but which one will it be? Zalewski gets one vote from Kieran Hines. He needs one more, and he is going through to the final four. And he gets it. Adam Zalewski goes through to the final four. One half of the bracket down to two drivers, and you can see those guys having a good conversation. And you know, it's nice to see guys having a conversation because mostly they can't understand anything anyone's saying. But two Polish guys can have a great conversation because obviously common language there. Go back to our judges, guys. You deemed that Borkowski at fault for the impact.
Yeah, Borkowski coming in way too hot there at inner clip 2 and just making contact with Adam. So we deemed that to be Borkowski's fault. Therefore, Adam got a competition timeout just to repair the damage. But Adam had a very, very sizable advantage going into the second run, and he knew it really. So all he had to do was hang back a little bit and just maintain some little bit of proximity so that he was able to take the win overall. And Borkowski going very wide on inner clip 2 really sealed the deal on that one. So Adam Zalewski taking the win overall.
Zalewski moves on. He's up against Hutonji. We're moving along. Ian, some big battles coming up.
Yeah, listen, the next one for me is a huge one because apparently he's from outer space and one man's a machine. So it's a UFO versus a machine. It is James Dean, the newly crowned Driftmasters 2018 champion, to take on the underdog, the man that's been, like Eddie said, knocking them out of the park all weekend.
You know what, though? In any other circumstance, I would be like, okay, this guy's won the US Championship. He's the most successful driver in the world. There's no way Mikel
You're
Overgaard.
not doubting him, are you?
But now I'm saying, I've done this so many rounds and said Overgaard can't do it. I think I'm giving him as big a chance as anybody to prove himself against the current champion.
Well, he's hot off the line and he's side by side, almost making contact with James Dean as James Dean fires it in now. Can Mikel Overgaard keep up with the pace of that Falcon Tyre Workhouse S14? He certainly can't, Dave, as Dean fires it in. Overgaard now starts to make a hunt for the door, but he gets absolutely bogged down in smoke. Overgaard stands on it, tries to hunt down the door again of the newly crowned champ, but Dean takes over the line, and Overgaard, though, not doing a bad job in chase position.
It was the first corner, Ian. Just on the first corner, he just came in a little, he had to back off. He was making contact. Look, boom, and had to back off there. That was enough to make that gap open up and unsettle Overgaard through the first corner. And after that, I mean, both guys doing a pretty good job from there on in. James Dean, you'd expect just to be on that perfect qualifying line. So much smoke from Dean's car, also lighting up those Falcon tires. And Mikel Overgaard, from my perspective, didn't do a bad job, but he's left the door open a little bit for the champ to come through now and force the issue.
Yeah, Mikel Overgaard, like you say, that little wobble on initiation. I think he just overthought that he didn't realise where James Dean was going to slow for the initiation and was still accelerating, unfortunately, and caught himself unaware. And yeah, for me, could have possibly lost the battle in that one little mistake. But stranger things have happened in drifting.
And they generally revolve around Mikel Overgaard, in my opinion. do strange things. So don't take your eyes off this one, as James Deane now chases in Mikael Overgaard, and he's an unpredictable guy to chase sometimes. So a lot of smoke created by that car, by the Danish driver. He's in the top 8. He's against the world champion. What's he got to lose right now? Deane is out there for fun. He's got the job done already. So this is going to be a little bit more relaxed and probably a little bit more crazy.
Yeah, as Deane now almost makes contact with Overgaard, as Overgaard fires it in. Deane, no such separation this time. Deane nice and close to the door as Overgaard starts to smoke out the champ. They both fire it in. And Overgaard on big angle, absolutely lock to lock. Oh, and James Deane has to bail out of it. James Deane gets lost in smoke. Mikael Overgaard now starts to drive away from your newly crowned champion.
This guy,
Dave.
You know what? It's not a tactic, it's not a style, it's just he brings this random nature with him on the track, and up to here James Deane has bossed this. I mean, I'm sure the judges are going to have a look at Overgaard almost over-rotating out of the hairpin, but Deane just disappeared for a while. I mean, they come in here, he's almost spinning, so he has to go big angle, and then Deane just shuts the car down.
I mean, and he completely shortcuts the circuit, Deane. He completely fails to get to the outer zone again. And,
this one,
I don't even know.
This could be far from over.
I don't even want to make an assumption.
I definitely do not want to make an assumption here. And when there's 2 replays going up, the judges are also not making an assumption. They're having a good look at this.
Big angle from Overgaard on the initiation, and James Deane, yeah, I mean, it is a huge error there from Overgaard. He completely misses that second front clipping point, but he fulfills the outer zones apart from that. And Deane, like I say, he's left standing. And did Deane think that Overgaard had spun on that on the big angle transition? Overgaard just absolutely ecstatic at the fact that he's got to the Great 8 and battled James Deane.
He's in cloud 9 right now. He's up against the world champion, if you want to call him that, now with Europe and the US championships in the bank. Overgaard can make a big name for himself here, and you know what? He's started a conversation between both of our judging panel that we didn't expect. We didn't expect that conversation to be happening, but James Deane hops out of the car, hands off. The Simpson Race products there, as you can see, helping these guys stay nice and safe throughout the championship, of course, protecting their neck for any high-end impacts. We now have a decision. It's for a space in the final 4. Slide him left for Mikael Overgaard, right for James Deane. Which way is it going to go? Anybody's guess. David goes for James Deane. One more vote and he will go through, and he gets it, goes through to the final 4. James Deane gets the win and goes through to the final 4. Definitely not as straightforward as we might have expected, guys.
No, okay, if you watch the first run there, James putting in a really good lead line for Overgaard to chase, but Overgaard doesn't have proximity for the first half of the track. He does gain it at the very end, but he did it by cutting outer zones 5 to 6. So after the first run, James has a slight advantage. When you come to the second run, it all comes down to inner zone 2. Overgaard comes in, he dials on a lot of angle, and he actually over-rotates and stalls up. Now, it's a deceleration zone as far as inner zone 2, but from there on, he should be on throttle again. And James, for whatever reason, maybe he's in a gear that he can accelerate at that point, stalls up completely, and it's completely the lead driver's fault, in my opinion. And I think maybe James's car fell off boost, and he had to maybe drop a gear in to get it going again. But you can't blame James for that. He expected the lead car to be gone at inner zone 2 and on the throttle, and it wasn't, so he had to back out of it. So that's, in my opinion, completely Overgaard's error, and so James takes 4 runs.
Yeah, so there you have it, and but he was in the conversation, which is as good as you can hope for against James Deane. But James Deane pushed back from the start line, car cutting out. So the drama continues as we move along to Benediktas Chirba against Nigel Colfer. 2 aces on this championship this year. 2 guys who are so stone cold steady, and they are on the line. And you know what? This one, I'm going to sit back and watch it and enjoy, because 2 guys on form. As you said earlier on in the show, Colfer took the win here last year. Chirba's been on better form this season. Let's see which way. Will it be Ireland or will it be Lithuania that goes through to the final 4, and they are good to go.
Yeah, it's Benediktas Chirba, big clutch kick initiation. Nigel Colfer not on the door like we'd like to see him. Benediktas Chirba absolutely flying now. Colfer starts to make the attack as they come through that second front clip. You can see Colfer on the foot brake. Very nice proximity from Nigel Colfer as he makes yet another dive onto the door. Benedictus Cerba's BMW. And a good lead line from Cerba.
You know what? He gave Nigel Colfer something to chase there. He gave him a great lead run, and Nigel Colfer replied with a phenomenal chase run. These guys, obviously, to make it this stage of the competition, have what it takes to take the podium, and then they're going head-to-head. And Cerba, as you can see, there was no real errors there from both drivers. They just saw a perfect lead and chase. Looked like the virtual we started the show with.
I was just going to say it looked like a computer game because no mistakes. It was very, very mirror image. And
well, I mean, there is so many variables in every drift run between clutch, brake, accelerator, handbrake, everything. And to just look that smooth, it's an amazing talent. It shows the depth of talent on this grid.
yeah, but for me, I think Nigel Colfer will be very, very confident knowing that last year he won this event and he's now in the Grade 8. This is the furthest he's got in competition this season. He said the car feels great. He feels very confident. He likes this circuit. Listen, he's looking at Benedictus Cerba and he's saying, dude, you're not going to stand in the way of me trying to potentially get a foot on the podium. 2 shots at the podium.
Well, I mean, for Nigel Colfer, I mean,
he will have to battle James Dean to get there. But
yeah, but I mean, from my perspective right now, I mean, his lead runs, sometimes he's had a little bit of tetchiness getting the initiation right. If he can get that part okay, Cerba has been great in the chase run. I could honestly see this being a very open battle, and I think there's no favorites here. That's what you got to say. Both of these guys have every right to take this one to the bank, and as they come off the line, it's anyone's guess which was going to go through to the final 4.
well, they're off the line, Dave. Let's find out who will be taking it through to the final 4 to battle James Dean as Colfer now leads in. Look at Benedictus Cerba on the back bumper, but I think he positioned himself slightly wrong there. Starts to dial on the angle. Colfer, very shallow angle. You can hear him just out-rev that car as he now stands back on the accelerator. Gets into these outer zones. Cerba not got the proximity that Colfer had. Makes a dive now onto the door as Cerba starts to force Nigel Colfer across the line. Very, very good lead and chase.
That was an impressive finish from Cerba there.
I don't think there was enough in it to split it.
Oh, it's going to be one more time, I think.
That would be another one more time for Nigel Colfer.
Every battle, one more time.
How is
the
that
one more
possible?
time king. He basically has
cold.
We heard a rumor that he has too much fuel and tires, and he needs to get rid of them. So he's just saying, if I can one more time, and he also wants as much track time and practice as possible. He's doing it in the hardest way possible. Don't get me wrong.
Well, listen, I mean,
it may not be.
He's here. He's travelled all this way from Ireland to Germany. Why not take advantage and do as many runs as you can?
But then, that's us assuming that we haven't watched something more technical there.
Exactly.
I
could have made a mistake. I've been wrong
before.
Once, I think, this year.
Really?
I think it's just once.
Once per battle, or?
Once every battle.
Yeah, once every battle you've been wrong. I was wrong once, but then it was overturned. It turned out to be one more time. So let's see which way it's going to go. Colfer or Cerba? Who's going through to the final 4? Slide him left for Colfer, right for Cerba. Oh, Cerba gets 1 vote from Kieran Hines. Will he get another and go through to the final 4? And he does. Benedictus Cerba takes the win. Ian, wrong again. Judges right again. Tell us what that was all about. It was close in our eyes.
Yeah, it was close. Looking at the first run there, Cerba has a really good lead run. Nigel doesn't have proximity, not in the first corner, and he does dive in, but he actually cuts outer zone 3 in order to get that proximity coming into inner zone 2. He has proximity for the rest of the run, but it is, he is sacrificing line slightly to do that. So after the first run, we're advantage Cerba. On the second run, again, if you look at the initiation, Cerba is closer. He's closer through the first out of zone 1, 2, and out to 3. He does cut 3 a little bit to gain back that proximity. He lost a tiny bit on the transition. But he closes in again near the end to take a slight advantage on the second one. So over both runs, not a massive difference between the two, but there is an advantage over both runs for Cerba from us.
Good to see that Benedictus Cerba is just as consistently good as you are consistently wrong, Ian, as we now move on to the final battles of this competition in just a few moments' time. We are about to kick them off in just a few moments' time. Don't go anywhere. It is the final of the Drift Masters European Championship penultimate round here in Germany in Hockenheim. Well, Ian, what a day it's been. We've been just on the edge of our seat. It's been so exciting. We're now whittling it down to 4 drivers. I'm sure we're going to get some words with them shortly. And if you were to pick these guys out at the start, I mean, James obviously would be one of those guys that we are picking out. Let's be honest here, this guy is one of the best in the world. But Zalewski, what a strong finish from him. Czerba to the top 4. I mean, we talked about, I told you, big statement earlier on, right?
Yeah.
You didn't listen.
Didn't listen.
But I said big statement, Benediktas Czerba and Joe Hutonji, keeping it alive for the German audience.
Listen, one thing to mention is that right now James Dean's car sits in the hot pits with a toolbox next to it, fully open, and Robbie from Track Day Performance, who works tirelessly with the Red Bull Drift Brothers, is there trying to work on James Dean's car. Now listen, in the top 4, like Dave just said, we do have Joe Hutonji from the Red Bull Drift Brothers, a German driver. We have Adam Zalewski from Zestino Tyres, the Polish driver. James Dean, an Irish driver, and Benediktas Czerba, a Lithuanian. Only 2 of these guys have been in the top 4 before, and the other 2 are new contenders in the top 4. So definitely mixing up the championship. And you know what, for me, worrying times for James Dean. He starts to jack up the back of his own car to change the wheels. Is there enough time for James Dean to get his car done? We will see the battle of Joe Hutonji against Adam Zalewski up first to decide who will go into the battle for first and second and who will battle for third and fourth. And Joe Hutonji looking very, very focused. I can see him out on circuit now, warming up his tyres, getting prepped, ready to go. Him and Adam Zalewski facing off ever so slightly, but cameras here focused on the current and newly crowned Drift Masters European Championship 2018 champion James Dean's car. As we can see, like I say, Robbie from the Red Bull Drift Brothers there, scratching his head. Maybe an issue with that car that's unfixable. Could we see the new champ not make it through to the final? So a little bit of panic down there in the pits, but not too much. James Dean out of the car, changing his own tyres, and you can see his teammates down there prepping the car. Maybe an issue with the handbrake. I did notice when he had the door open and he was talking to Mikael Overgaard, he had something in his hand. So not sure what that is. Maybe something broke off. Well, worrying times.
Worrying times for James Dean, as the car pushed back from the start line. Could have told the story a little bit earlier there. And with finals ahead, there's always drama here at the Drift Masters European Championship, and Germany will be no different. So we are about to kick off the final 4 here at Drift Masters round 5, the penultimate round in Germany. And we have got a Red Bull Drift brother, Joe Hutonji, to go up against Adam Zalewski. And then we have got James Dean against Benediktas Czerba. 4 different nationalities in the top 4. First up, it's Poland versus Germany.
Yeah, Joe Hutonji for me looking very, very strong. But listen, don't knock Adam Zalewski out of the fight. The 18-year-old ex-champion is looking for some redemption this season. Started off the year in a very bad position. Joe Hutonji been trying to hunt down the progression that he's needed and to put himself in the limelight, I feel.
Well, let's be honest here. The German audience want a German winner, so they're going to get behind Joe Hutonji. As he is the last remaining German in the competition, he will be in the chase position, and Zalewski is the higher qualifier. Zalewski looking to get back up towards those top 3 positions in the championship. Lot on the line here as they slam through the gears and put foot to floor into that first corner. Late initiation from Joe. Touches, he goes a little bit late, and he might go off here. Has to pull back, and Zalewski fires through those first 2 corners. Incredible stuff from the youngster at 18 years of age. And Joe Hutonji now getting back into the fight. But is it too little too late for the German as they come across the finish line? Impressive stuff from the youngster there.
Very, very, very good stuff there from Adam Zalewski. Look, we said it before, it looks like the car's on rails. Early initiation, very nice. Caught Joe Hutonji sleeping a little bit, and he is very wide on that first front clipping point.
Had to back out a little bit there, and he just had to. He was going to wash off into the dirt and just had to let the car grip up a little bit. Lost some pace, and Zalewski's, he's not going to allow you to make mistakes like that. He's going to capitalize and he's going to put the foot down, and he has the grip and the car to do it. And I think Adam Zalewski is looking like a real chance here to take this one to the first ever final of the year for Adam Zalewski. And the thing is, he got to this position before in Riga in Latvia, but the car let him down. He had a suspension failure. He didn't get a shot at that third place trophy. If he wins this battle, he's guaranteed a trophy and he's back where he wants to be. Now, Joe Hotunji, as he heads back up to the line, will be listening on his earpiece saying, Joe, you got to pull something out here. You got a lot of German people here watching you. You're the hero. You got to go out there and pull something out of the bag. And that's pressure on his shoulders on top of already probably having a deficit.
Yeah, that huge wobble on initiation, and he made another big wobble as he transitioned off of that outer zone 3. He pulls up to the start line, and he will be doing everything he can to try and force an error of the young 18-year-old Zestino Tyres driver and get himself, in the fight and potentially 1 foot on the podium.
Well, Zalewski just taking a moment to stop by his pit crew there. I think he's fighting something in that car right throughout the day, and he's been stopping up a lot in that pit area, just taking every second he can on that clock to get himself, 100% committed to that car working correctly. He could be fighting something. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. But Joe Hotunji now in the lead position has to just throw caution to the wind and go for this.
Yeah, we know that Adam Zalewski is going to absolutely try and stick it to the door, and Joe Hotunji really now needs to put out the lead run of his life and throw everything out there. They're off the line with a green light. It will be Zalewski to chase down Hotunji for a spot in the final as Hotunji fires it in. Zalewski late initiation now. Zalewski not hunting the door down like we'd like to see. Separation as Hotunji looks strong. A little wobble there from Zalewski. Pedaling that car, you can hear the two Jay-Z singing under the bonnet. Hotunji, nice transition, but Zalewski's right there as he gets on the door and pushes the Red Bull Drift brother over the finish line.
Well, Zalewski just made a statement. Lost a little ground on the first corner. Again, it's very tough to stay close to cars at over 80 miles an hour. But once it started to get to that deceleration zone, he played a good game here. He let the car float in, get that bit of proximity, and then boom, he was on it from here. He knew he had just made up the ground. And while Joe Hotunji putting in a phenomenal lead run there, one of the best runs he's pulled out all day, that's all he could do in that situation. Zalewski was given a great lead run to get up close and personal. And as you can see, these guys have been battling tooth and nail all day. Zalewski and Hotunji, incredible stuff from both of these drivers from the start to the finish of the event. One of them is going to the final, and we're about to find out from the judges who that's going to be. Great respect between the drivers here also, Ian. They really know that the level's so high. They look at this. He lifts up the youngster at 18 years of age. Decision will drop in. It's for a spot in the final. The loser will go to the 3rd and 4th place playoff. Will it be Hotunji? Will it be Zalewski? Who's going to the final? One vote for Adam Zalewski. He needs one more to go to the first final of the year. And he gets it. Adam Zalewski goes to the final. He is going to the final. And he gets the win. You can see what it means to him, his first final of the year. Adam Zalewski, he's with Eddie Power at the reactions from the finish line. Zalewski overwhelmed with emotion. Eddie, he's got to be happy with that.
Adam Zalewski, you've just made it through to the final and you're guaranteed a spot on the podium. How are you feeling right now? A really intense battle there against Joe Hotunji.
I'm super excited. Like, I can't say what I'm feeling right now, like big excitement. I didn't know that I will win with Hotunji, guys. Like, it's amazing. I can't even say the word. But yeah, we have problems with the car. It's like flowing weird ways, but also like my water is 107 degrees and like totally no power. So yeah, I'm driving like, we'll see what's gonna happen, but I'm really excited about this, about the final.
James Dean or Benedictus Chirba in the final. You'll be watching it closely this next battle.
Yeah, I'll be watching closely who will win, and yeah, prepare for the final.
Best of luck, dude.
Thank you.
I'm very happy. Adam Zalewski, his car's at 107 degrees. He's overheating, the car's overheating, but he's still excited. And incredible stuff. We got to go back to the judges, though. Guys, talk us through that decision. Zalewski getting the win.
Okay, if we look on the lead runs, Adam made really strong lead run. If we look on Joe's lead run, he made some small mistake at outer zone 3. He was not completely inside of it. Then we need to look also on the chase runs. By Adam, there was a really nice proximity, and Joe had some problems with line to stay nicely behind Adam. And he slightly put one wheel off at outer zone 2. So that was overall the decision why Adam goes through.
So Adam Zalewski goes through to the final. Dean still just getting into the car here, and he may be having some issues as he now prepares for his battle against Benediktas Cerba, who's going to face Zalewski in the final. Wouldn't it be interesting to think Cerba, never making it this far in the competition, now gets a monstrous opportunity to go to the final and guarantee a trophy. However, if Dean was to win, we would have last year's Drift Masters European champion against this year's European champion in the final. That would be what would be ahead of us. But I'm telling you, the clock is up for James Dean. 1 minute 30 on the clock, and James Dean not to the line yet. He has 1 minute 25 seconds to get to the line, or he is disqualified from the competition. And they're still working on James Dean's car. This is down to the wire now.
Yeah, listen, you just took the words out of my mouth. We panned to the shot of Benediktas Cerba sitting on the line, and you can see our start line marshal talking to him. And I could see the clock in the background. It is ticking down rapidly. They're cooling down James Dean's car. 1 minute to go. Benediktas Cerba gets told to just reverse off the line ever so slightly. The passenger door is shut. It looks like James Dean is ready to go.
I think he's going to run it either way, Ian. He's going to try and run the car either way. Yeah, it looks like James Dean gets a fist bump from his team. James Dean is going to make it too. He is going to just about make the clock here on a day when he's already been crowned champion. He now has to warm his tires on the way to the start line, as he is not going to have the time. And this is just down to a knife edge for James Dean. Benediktas Cerba, though, what an opportunity for him up against the current champion. I told you, this guy came here this weekend to make a statement. He's made it. What a statement it would be to take down Dean at this stage of the competition. I am pumped for this one.
Yeah, Benediktas Cerba now maybe looking at a wounded James Dean's car. Can James Dean's car hold together for 2 more runs? Or will that issue fall through? We can just see our start line marshal just helping James Dean get himself strapped in. It was a rush to get to the line. He is there.
He's made the line, but he's got to be sure he's safe enough to get to it. His last-minute adjustments, James Dean, he's been battling through today. I mean, he's taken the win, he's taken the championship, but it is just pure hardship for him right from the start of this season. He's battled through all of it. Now he goes up against a very on-form Benediktas Cerba. Do not take anything away from Cerba right now. He has been perfect all day. He's going to relish this opportunity.
Yeah, as James Dean clicks his car into gear.
Here we go, it's for a spot in the final. Dean's off the line, Cerba's off the line, and Cerba is chasing him down.
Yeah, look at this, James Dean fires that car in. Benediktas Cerba all over the back end, and James Dean's car is on the rev limiter. Could there be an issue with James Dean's car as Benediktas Cerba fires through the smoke? Cerba now looks to the door of the Werfhaus tyres, Werfhaus Falcon tyre S14, and Cerba is all over the side of James Dean as they transition back. Dean starts to make a pull, but Cerba gets back on it.
What a run from Benediktas Cerba. Amazing stuff. You said it, it sounded like James Dean's car was on the rev limiter. Look at the bravery of Cerba as he throws it on the door. That's the best chase run I've seen through that corner all day. Cerba knew what this meant to him. It's about announcing yourself on the scene and saying, hey, if you beat the champ on the day that he's crowned, you're the guy everyone's going to be talking about. And right now, everybody is talking right throughout the stadium about Benediktas Cerba. Out of nowhere, he becomes an overnight or an overday success here in the Drift Masters European Championship. Dean is under pressure now, Ian.
Yeah, James Dean is certainly under pressure. Like you say, Benediktas Cerba stuck in the chase run that we haven't seen all day. And look at this, Benediktas
and he
Cerba
just overtakes James Dean and says, come on, back to the line you go. And Dean is wounded. You can see his car not 100% right now. He's trying to shake those gremlins out of it. I don't know if he's going to have the pace for this. And Cerba now, he's smelling, there's blood in the water here. Cerba's going, did I just pin James Dean for a whole run here, the current champion? well, now it's up to me, and Sherba's going to come in here hot. Dean has it all to do here, and can he get this car across the line? That's the question, and if he's going to try and take the win and go to the final, how much is left in that car? And that S14 of James Dean's right now. He's battling against it, but we're about to find out. History could be made in the next 50 seconds as Sherba takes off the line in the lead position. Dean, though, not letting him away as he now chases down Sherba into that first corner there, bumper to bumper, wheel to wheel at 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, look at this, Sherba on a perfect lead line, but James Dean is all over the back end of that E46 BMW. Now Dean starts to push up on the inside as Sherba sticks it to the outer zone. James Dean is all over the side of Benedictus Sherba as he transitions through the smoke.
Contact.
On the door is James Dean. Unbelievable stuff as the grandstand erupts with a round of applause.
That is what it's all about. That's what we came to Germany to see. These guys laying it down, putting in incredible runs. James Dean, look at this. How much can you risk in one battle when you just saw a man put confidence in his opponent and go that close? Incredible. Look at the angle these guys are pulling through that last section. This is incredible stuff from both of these guys. And I mean, just when we counted James Dean out of the game, he comes right back at him, even gives him a push across the line and says, remember, I'm still here.
I'm still here, dude. So judges are just jotting down their notes, and these guys, Paul.
Sherba's pumped. You can see the adrenaline in Sherba in the car. He is pumped, rips off the helmet, gets out of the car, and these guys give each other a big handshake after an incredible display from both. Sherba and Dean await the decision. Great camaraderie also across the whole grid here, and I think they're just happy to have such a good run. Dean sort of explaining himself maybe in a couple of areas and saying the car not doing so good. Sherba saying, I don't know, man, this is going to go to the judges, but impressive all the same. A decision, though, has been made from our judges. It is to go to the final to take on Adam Zalewski. Sherba, Dean, Lithuania or Ireland, who is going to the final? One vote for James Dean. He needs one more vote to go to the final against Zalewski on the day he's crowned champion. Will he get it? Will he get the vote that takes him against last year's Drift Masters European champion in the final to build that dream final? He gets the vote. Dean's in the final. James Dean gets the win and goes through to the final. He cannot believe it. And we are going to go down onto the track. Look at this reaction on the day he was crowned champion. Not an easy day. Eddie, James Dean, how's he feeling?
I'm here with James Dean. James, another event, another final. There's just no stopping you.
Today is tough, man. This whole weekend we've been going through so much small little issues with the car. In our last battle, while I was chasing, not this battle, the previous battle, while I was chasing, the clevis pin came out of the clutch pedal and I had no clutch to finish the track. So we just got it finished in time, and just as I was about to start the car to come back out, an earth wire was after coming off the cutout switch, so the car wouldn't start. So drama, last second we got to the start line, but I drove as hard as I could.
It's 2017 champion going in against the 2018 champion. Who's going to take it to the top step?
So I'm battling Adam, yeah?
Correct.
Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be fun. We're going to go hard, and hopefully the car holds on.
Well, James, you know, you're hanging in there by a fine thread, and we're looking forward to seeing you in the final. Two champions going up against each other. It's going to be insane.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Woo! Congratulations.
Well, you saw the delight of James Dean when he realized he was going up against Zalewski, but we'll quickly roll it back to our judges. Guys, another very close battle. Got to be impressed with Sherba on that one.
Absolutely incredible driving from both drivers there. Both guys were pushing the limits 110%. James's lead run was fantastic, and it allowed Sherba to absolutely sit it on his door. Great proximity the whole way throughout. Only thing that we could mark him down, Sherba down, was he fell off proximity-wise a little bit between outer zone 2 and 3, and to maintain proximity over the finish line, he had to do a little bit of cutting between outer zone 5 and 6. You switched them around though, and it was just an absolute masterclass from James Dean. Incredible chase driving. driving. He sat it on Serba's door. The best, most proximity that we've been able to see all day. Just didn't let off, didn't lose proximity at any point through the track. But again, as we always say, you can't have a good chase without a good lead, and Serba was absolutely dialed into that qualifying line. Fantastic driving from both drivers, but James just being able to take the win overall.
Well, there you have it. And you know what really impressed me was when James Deane got out of the car. He's had a tough day. You could hear the problems he's having. He had no clutch to finish one battle. His cutoff switch, the earth came off it. He couldn't start his own car to go to the last battle. But what I love about him is his attitude when he gets an opponent. He's having fun. And I think that may be the problem with a lot of people wondering, how do you get as good as James Deane? How do you get to that level? And I'm starting to figure out that he's having fun. That's the most important part. Yes, he's competing. Yes, he's one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. But look at the delight in his face. Look how much he's enjoying it. His opponent, Adam, he goes, yes. He actually celebrates one of the hardest battles of the day that he wants to go to. He wants to have good competition. And I think a lot of drivers in drifting might have a misconception that it's about just competing and being super serious and getting out there. Sure, there's a massive professional element to it. But if you're not enjoying yourself, you're not relaxed, you're not out there giving it your all. And I think he just shines that with this sort of, you can never look at James Deane in any interview and think he's not having a good time. And that's an amazing accomplishment when he's got all that pressure.
Yeah, listen, like you say, he's having fun with it, and when you're having fun with it, you succeed. And if you're not having fun with it, that's when you have problems. For me, James Deane, yeah, he's enjoying himself, he's having a good time. Like you say, to be excited to be battling the 2017 champion here this weekend, two champions going head-to-head.
But now I'm sad.
You're
you know
sad.
I'll tell you why I'm sad. One of these guys is not going to get a trophy because it's the third and fourth place playoff between Sherba and Hutonji. These guys have been sensational the whole weekend. I'm just upset that one of these guys isn't going to get on the podium. For me, that's a worry, because Sherba has been exceptional. Hutonji in front of his home fans with that pressure on his shoulders, he's done them so proud this weekend. And I think Sherba and Hutonji are going to know that this is going to be close. Like, these guys are consistent, good chase drivers, good lead drivers. This is going to be one just to sit back and enjoy.
It certainly is going to be one to sit back and enjoy. And Benedictus Sherba sits on the line waiting for Joe Hutonji to arrive. Benedictus Sherba will be leading out Joe Hutonji as the higher qualifier. As Hutonji now pulls up to the line, he's going to be looking to take a step on the podium, Dave. He's in front of his home ground, and what better way to celebrate drifting in your hometown than to take a step on the podium and spray some champagne and do your country proud.
Yeah, but Sherba's coming for the statement. He's now announced himself, and everybody who's watching on is going to go, this guy is amazing. He doesn't want to finish without a trophy either. So I know both of these guys, amazing competitors, really nice guys, help everybody out around them in the pits. It's a shame that one of them's going to lose, but my God, are we going to get some battle here.
Well, it's definitely going to be a battle you're going to remember as they both come off the line. It will be Benedictus Sherba to lead out Joe Hutonji, as Hutonji doesn't give Sherba an inch. He just sees him almost take down James Deane as they fire it indoor on door. Sherba on a perfect lead line again. But look at Joe Hutonji. Sherba falls. Sherba slips, makes a little chink in his armour as he drops a wheel. And Joe Hutonji is all over it as he sticks it to the door of the Lithuanian driver. Joe Hutonji, one more last-ditch attempt at getting on the door as they both power across the line. Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, they're dialed in now.
And Sherba's starting to fall.
He made the first error he has in many, many battles. He dropped a wheel off the track, but he stayed in it, Ian. It wasn't like he went too far off. I'm just saying, Hutonji looked strong. Sherba, though, watch, he drops off, just goes a little too wide, but as he tips it here, boom, he stays in it full throttle, and then doesn't really mess Joe Hutonji up. So enough of an error, yes, maybe to separate him if it comes down to that, but he's still in the fight right now.
Hutonji did a very, very good job of chasing as well. After that little error, he gets back into it, and you know, it didn't let it upset his flow at all. He stayed way, way in it.
I wonder, is that enough? I mean, Hutonji has made some errors in the past today too, so I mean, these guys are capable, you know, and why wouldn't you? 80 miles an hour sideways into a first corner and you're going, oh, he made an error. I've often made errors trying to overtake someone at 80 miles an hour, not even sideways. So these guys are just making it look so easy out there. But to drop that wheel, to have the front car for the car kick up and stay in it, that's impressive stuff from Sherba. He's now in the chase position. We saw the chase run he just put in against James Deane. He's going for the door of that Red Bull Drift Brothers car. And Hutonji, he's going to give him a great lead. I can guarantee it. He's dialed in. Can Sherba risk it all here? He's going to risk it for a third place trophy. He's not like you know, Tunji's won all these championships. He's coming for it today. This is his day. And he's going for it. Nice and close initiation, but a very wide entry from Churba. And Tunji, just totally different line there. Tunji goes off the track though. Oh, and a big bailout from Tunji. A big bailout from Tunji. That looked unforced to me, and it looked like an unforced error.
Yeah, not really sure what happened there. Joe Hutunji made a huge error. Benedictus Churba initiation was very strange.
From the angle we're looking, maybe Churba's was right. Maybe Hutunji's had the wrong entry.
Okay, yeah.
And that's why he pushed off the track. I mean, perspective is everything, right?
Well, we're going to take a look back at it again. And yeah, I mean, you're right. It did look like Joe Hutunji made a too early initiation and in the middle of the circuit.
He came across it. He sort of made that apex.
A dive across the apex,
which he didn't hook around it. So that's what sent him into the dirt. And I think Churba, because I looked at Churba saying maybe he's made the mistake, but then I went, well, let's see where they end up. And Churba ended up perfect, and Hutunji ended up off in the dirt. So maybe that is a mistake from Hutunji, but it looks like as they come back to line, we would have a decision on this one as the sun sets here in Hockenheim at round 5 of the Drift Masters European Championship. Anything can happen. We talk about consistency, Ian, but these guys are starting to get a little bit of pressure, starting to feel it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's been a long, long day and a long weekend for some of these guys, and looks like the decision is in, Dave, sorry.
That's okay. Well, I was sure we'd be talking to Eddie after this one for a reaction, but who's going to go through? Will it be Germany? Will it be Lithuania? Will it be Hutunji, or will it be Churba? Who will take 3rd position on the podium? One vote for Benedictus Churba. Can he take his first ever trophy home from the Drift Masters? And he does! Benedictus Churba takes 3rd position on the podium. Wow. Gotta come back to you guys. That was impressive stuff, but it was 2 very different initiations on that second run. It looked like Hutunji chose the wrong one.
Yeah, there seemed to be an issue there. Yeah, if we go back to the first run, Joe has a really good chase, good proximity through the first corner, transitions, nice dive down into inner zone, inner clip 2. And maintains proximity to the end. So he comes away with a really strong advantage after the first run. Churba's lead run, he obviously drops a wheel at outer zone 2. So after the first one, we have a big advantage to Joe. So like he kind of had it sewn up, and he only really had to put in a decent lead run and should have been able to take it home. But it looks like his line coming in, he didn't quite get it right. And he drops wheels off, and well, then it was 4 wheels off, which was a 0. So yeah, so Churba takes it on the second one.
Well, what a performance. I told you, called it from the top 32, Ian, right again. Benedictus Churba takes a podium here at round 5 as we head to the final. Remember, for all you guys here in the grandstand, the podium will be in the pits, in the paddock. The podium where we're giving out the trophies will be in the paddock at the end of this run. But who's going to get first and who's going to get second? It is your 2017 Drift Masters European Champion against your 2018 Drift Masters European Champion. On a day he's crowned the current champion, well, he's got to go through last year's champion to get both trophies.
Yeah, listen, for me, James Dean hasn't got an easy task, nor has Adam Zalewski. Both these guys have been doing everything they can. They've been throwing everything at it all weekend. Both cars not 100%. James Dean's car, he's saying he's got a few little niggly issues that keep popping up. Zalewski's car running way over boiling point on water. So, listen, who's going to take it through and take the top step on the podium? We're about to find out. We wait for the green light.
It is the final of round 5 of the Drift Masters European Championship. Dean Zalewski, Poland versus Ireland for top step, and look at Zalewski all over James Dean as they come into that first corner. He knows how good James Dean is. He knows what a transition. The 18-year-old is coming for blood here. He doesn't care what Dean has won. He's taken first place today, and what a transition into that final corner. Zalewski in a last-minute transition again. Impressive stuff. Pushes the Irishman across the line. Dean under pressure.
So we wait to go back to the replay of that one. Unbelievable stuff. Like you said, Dave, look at the initiation from Adam Zalewski as he fires that car, and Dean on a very nice angle. Very good line. Zalewski, though, all over the side of that Falcon Tyres S14. And Zalewski, look at this, a last-minute ditched transition as he gets nice and close to the door and pushes James Dean over the finish line. So we wait to get both of these guys back to the start line. Zalewski and Dean going at it.
if Dean is going to win it today, he's again having to win it the hard way, because every battle has just been incredible today. And it goes to show the level of competition, the depth of talent, as I like to quote Joe Hotunji from earlier on. Zalewski just left it all on the track. He went out there and did exactly what you expect him to do. And he is now feeling like, you know what, I've done quite well there. He's given him the biggest run today. And now Dean, again, with a car that's not 100%, has to try and outdo that. If he wants to prove why he's the 2018 champion, if he wants to prove that he's the best in the world, well, he's just been served a lot of challenge right there. Dean now in the chase position. Last run of the day, potentially, for Hockenheim. Dean versus Zalewski. Zestino versus Falcon. Poland versus Ireland. Here we go. Through the gears for one last time. Zalewski powering forward, and Dean is right there with him. Transitions in. Zalewski, late initiation. Dean tries to make the move. And Zalewski so fast through the midsection. Dean makes a last-ditch effort on big angle. Zalewski, Dean hops over the inside curb. Zalewski right out to those outer zones. Dean now shortcutting the track to try and stay in the fight. Oh, that's in the balance, Dean. That is in the balance right there. What a final.
Unbelievable stuff right there, Dave, from both of those guys. And do you know what, for me, I'm going to put it all out there and say Zalewski looked untouchable as he fires that car in at James Dean on a very good line, but Zalewski is absolutely flying. This isn't the Adam Zalewski we've seen all weekend. He starts to come alive at the end of the weekend. James Dean hopping that curb. Could that be it? Could that be enough for Zalewski to take the top step on the podium? As James Dean, late transition, it gets on the door and starts to try and force something, but it's almost too late.
Incredible stuff, and we will wait for our judges to give a deliberation on this one. So a reminder to everybody here, if we have a decision, we will go to the pits or the paddock. Judges, do we have a decision?
Oh, they're still deliberating it, Dave.
Still discussing it. Still discussing this one. And if we do get a decision, all of you guys come down to the paddock, down to the pits, and we will have a presentation for the top 4 drivers in the paddock or the pits. However, judges right now may not have a decision.
So it does look like they may be split, Dave. It looks like they may be split.
I think there's an argument going on over here. I think there's a little bit of an argument about this run. I mean, that is the closest final we've had all year, because usually with finals, you kind of can pick one way or the other which way it's going to go. Dean makes errors there. Zalewski makes some errors. Some moments of brilliance from both drivers. I think that one is completely down the middle. That's the problem I'm thinking now. Is it a one more time? Has one of these guys taken it? Whew. Long conversations being had with the judges there. It's been an incredible day, Ian. I mean, we have been amazed by the level of competition. Another cracker of a round in the Drift Masters European Championship. And to anybody who's been watching it, I think you'll agree, the tension, the ability, the machinery, the unpredictability. Every single event, some new star comes through, some new hero climbs up the tournament ladder. Whew, incredible stuff.
Yeah, look, we came to this place and we was blown away just by the sheer presence of it and being at a Formula One circuit, and then we sent our 62 guys out on circuit and they put down some amazing runs. Judges still talking about this one, and it created such a good atmosphere and such some good, very good battles. We watched practice and we see these guys door and door, and we said, you know what, this is lining up to be a very, very exciting event. And then we got through in the mix that the championship would be decided in top 32.
Well, you can see the drivers congratulating each other. They don't know which way it's finished. We do know that Benediktas Cerba has taken 3rd position and Joe Hotunji has taken 4th position. But the incredible thing is one of the judges has locked in something. We don't know what it is, but one of the but the other 2 are yet to decide. This is interesting. A lot of eyes being thrown up towards the judging tower in the grandstand right now. Big decision on their shoulders here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, for a split decision in the final like that, what did they see from Zalewski's lead that we didn't see? Or what did they see from James Dean's lead that we didn't see? They must have seen something that we missed.
Here's the interesting. If you're watching this at home, you're watching the cameras, right? You're watching this live broadcast. If the judges watch this through their own eyes here in the stand, through the first. So it looks like we're locked in. And do we have a decision? Well, we have a decision, and the decision is, it's a one more time! One more time for James Deane and Adam Zalewski. They're going back at it again. You guys couldn't even make a decision, arguing over nothing. We're going back at it again.
I know how useless are we. This is a difficult one because, okay, we say it and we say it many times. You can't have a good chase without a good lead. James puts in a brilliant lead run, as he nearly always does. And Adam has a great opportunity to be able to chase him. He has no problem chasing James because James is in exactly the right place of the track all the way through. So after the first run, despite all of that, Adam still has a really good chase. So he takes a very small advantage in the first one. When we swap it around and Adam's in the lead position, James has a difficult line to chase through the first corner because Adam actually has, he's on very little angle. He's actually on a very difficult line out to outer zone 2. James gets proximity down into the inner zone, inner clip 2, and then puts a wheel up over the curb. It dials up. He loses his proximity, cuts the next track. The thing is that they're big errors that James makes, but it was on a line that he was chasing wasn't ideal. And when we score the 2 leads, James takes a big advantage in the lead battle. And when we score the chases, even though Adam takes an advantage, the advantage is only just enough to bring it back to one more time. So it's very, very close. We'd like to see him go one more time, and let's get a clean run, hopefully, in the next one.
Well, there you go. They are going to go at it one more time. And Adam Zalewski's bad lead lines. Judges seeing that Adam Zalewski's line, shallow angle, mistake, making James Deane follow it and making James Deane make those errors. So judges saying, listen, let's see it one more time. Let's see a clean battle, or let's see someone make a big enough a mistake to call the decision. Not going to do this lightly. This not for the championship, unfortunately, but for bragging rights. 2017 champ versus 2018 champion, and we can see down in the pits that James Deane's getting his car prepped. Adam Zalewski's team down there working on that car. So it won't be long, and we will be back at the action as your brand new champion looks to be going one more time. So we are just waiting to get Adam Zalewski back to the line. He is changing the tyres on the back of that car. James Deane just stepping inside the car. Do you know what? I don't think he was ready to do that. I think he maybe thought that it was all over after he made that error, Dave.
Yeah, and it's not, you know, I love the explanation from Kieran Hines there. It balanced out beautifully. Deane does make mistakes, but Zalewski not perfect in the lead run. So it goes to show how this judging system of lead versus lead, chase versus chase really works when it comes down to it. And I mean, we saw something special in both of those guys there. Really knife-edge stuff, and both making errors that they hadn't made all day just from the pressure of that final. Now they got it, you know, they got the relief of getting out of the cars going, well, look, whatever way it goes, it's over. Now you got to pump yourself back up again and say, I got to get back in the zone. The poor cars are just like, you heard James Deane saying everything's breaking in his car. Zalewski's car is boiling. I mean, they're making cups of tea down there out of the radiator of that car, and they're both now going to go back at it again. It's what we wanted to see, a more clear-cut finish, but I was thinking maybe, was Deane's mistake enough? Was Zalewski's enough? But I mean, maybe the right call in the end was the one more time. The judges analysing it a lot more carefully than we are. Impressive stuff from all of these guys, and another wait now to see if Deane has got what it takes to go back out there. And I mean, he has had a hard day. Zalewski's had a hard day. They both deserve this right now.
Yeah, look, this hasn't been easy for both of these guys, and like you say, both of them have had a hard day, and I can't see much movement around Zalewski's crew. Yep, he's just jumped back in the car and it is off, so he is ready for action, and James Deane's in his car.
I mean, where do you go now? Where do you go? I'll tell you what you got to do. I'm going to just give you guys an insight of what's going on here. Zalewski's been told by his crew, right, he went out there and he gave it 100%. That didn't win. You got to give it 110. And at this point, I think of these two drivers who are so consistent, they know this track, they're doing pretty good, they've got to go to a special place. They've got to go to a place where they're not quite sure if it's going to work out for them. They may make contact, they may go off the track. But to beat each other at this level now, I think they know a normal run isn't going to do it.
No, right, listen, and somebody, another driver earlier on in the championship said that when you battle James Deane, you can't give it 110%. You've got to get it 150%. You've got to give it everything you've got. That is why he is the current Formula
But
Drift champion
we've
and
also-
the new Drift Master champion.
Ian, I'm just thinking, we've seen so many drivers make big mistakes against James Dean because they put that 150% pressure on it. Is it time for Zalewski to cool down and just put in solid runs? Is it time for him to not make mistakes and overdrive the car and make big mistakes? Dean, we know he's under pressure. He's already making mistakes in the first battle these guys went. He made the first mistakes all day. So he's under pressure as it is. So does Zalewski just keep doing what he's doing, or does he go harder? I mean, who knows? I mean, they are capable of making those decisions as drivers because they're dialed into the line. They've now done more laps than any other driver on the grid. They have this circuit, you know, dialed in. They can do it. That's no question. But where do they go from here? Does Zalewski say, I'm going to go in 10 miles an hour faster? Does Dean say, I'm going to go in even closer? It's knife edge. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see these guys go back at it again.
No, exactly, and I'm very, very interested to see what they can do and what they can put out there for it. I mean, listen, like you say, James Dean made mistakes. He was pushing past probably beyond what he's been doing all weekend and all season so far. He knows Zalewski's a very, very hard person to battle. James Dean does start making his way back to the start line, though.
Yeah, well, he's ready. Zalewski's ready. I don't know if we're ready, Ian. It's been pretty exciting up to here. This could just tip it over the edge. You can feel the tension right now in this arena.
The thing was, most of the crowd in the grandstands started to make their way to the podium because they thought, it's done, it's a done deal. James Dean hopped the curb, he made a mistake. When it was one more time, the whole place erupted with a what?
Yeah, and now they're all on their feet because they were halfway to leave. Now they're still here. They come back up the steps again, and believe me, it's like 10 flights of stairs up here. So they're all ready to go. And remember, it cannot be a one more time after this. The decision must be made on this battle. It cannot go to another one more time.
Oh, wow. And Adam Zalewski's out of the car. He's shaking his hands.
Zalewski's car. Oh, Adam Zalewski's saying his car is done. Well, that was the international symbol for a problem. I'm not sure what's happened here. Zalewski's gone back to the line.
And Adam Zalewski got out of the car and did the international symbol for, that's it, it's done, I'm finished, I have no more.
Is that must be a mechanical failure in the car. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, or a temperature failure. He's reporting it to the marshals. He's not making a move to get back into the car. Oh, it's a rear suspension issue for Adam Zalewski. Remember he was complaining about the car? The car was wavering on the back. Something has snapped in the back of Adam Zalewski's car. Something has given way. He says the steering, he went to do the little burnout beforehand, and two wheels are just wobbling off the back of the car.
Wow.
Oh, and look, he's handed it over. Zalewski's handed it over to James Dean and said, I cannot compete in this final. I got to go to the podium.
So, look at the frustration in Adam Zalewski.
That is just so hard. Guys, round of applause for Adam Zalewski. Oh, so harsh. So harsh on the 18-year-old right now. And that's not the way we wanted to finish things here in Hockenheim after an incredible 2 days. But guys, it looks like we are going to the podium. We are going to the podium in the pits, in the paddock. Make your way to the podium. All top 4 drivers are going to the podium right now. We'll see you guys there in a couple of moments' time. And Zalewski will have to bow out at this stage. Ian, the heartbreak is ridiculous right now. I feel for that kid. This is the second time this season he just hasn't been giving a fighting chance.
No, unfortunately, it's been a reoccurring issue for Adam Zalewski, and yeah, listen, problems with Zalewski's car has just been the issue all season, and just see how dejected he is. James Dean gets out of his car and shakes him, and Adam Zalewski looks absolutely heartbroken as James Dean takes a peer inside the car and looks at the damage. And yeah, this all stems back to earlier contact with Pavel Borkowski. We're going to go back to a replay for you guys watching at home as Dave heads off and makes his way to the podium. We can show you the replay of what caused the damage. And look at this. This is at the point where Adam Zalewski's weekend started to go wrong. Big contact from Pavel Borkowski as he makes a big hit on the side of that car, forces some damage to the rear suspension. Unfortunately for Adam Zalewski, it really reared its head up as he got to this point in the competition, and unfortunately it only had one more battle in it as Zalewski sits in his car now. Yeah, gives the crowd a little wave there as Zalewski says, you know what, I've had a good weekend, I've put on a good fight, but unfortunately the car says no, and that is all we have for you. So that does round out this round. Round 5 of the Drift Masters European Championship 2018 is done and dusted as far as I go. That just leaves one more round to go. Round 6 in Ireland in Mondello Park in the 23rd of September. That's just 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, 60 drivers will be heading to Mondello Park in Ireland, just outside of Dublin, to face off to claim 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th in the championship. Tickets on sale on mondellopark.ie. Jump on there, get your tickets, grab your grandstand tickets, as we see our guys heading back into the paddock to receive their podiums. And Benedictus Cherba and Joe Hutunji there just joining Adam Zalewski and James Dean as they make their way back into the track. Don't forget, 2 weeks' time we'll be heading to Mondello Park for the final of the Drift Masters 2018 European Championship. Like I say, championship decided right now for first place, but still waiting to decide that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th in the championship. Those all important spots. Conor Shanahan still trying to hunt down 2nd place in the championship. Now Grzegorz Hipki is out. He looks dangerously close to being knocked down the order by Paweł Bukowski after a very good weekend from Bukowski right up until that point where he had that damage with Zalewski for a place in top 4. So don't forget to check out all our social media feeds as well. Facebook and Instagram. We will be putting out a video from this event in probably a few days' time, as all the guys head back into the paddock. So, like I say, 2 weeks' time, and we will be heading to Ireland, Mondello Park, for the final round of the Drift Masters 2018 European Championship. We will be crowning the rest of the championship. James Dean obviously taking the win this weekend and crowning himself the champion. But the rest of the championship still to be decided, so don't forget to get on the mondellopark.ie website, grab yourself some weekend tickets and some grandstand tickets. You will be able to see all the action there live from Drift Masters European Championship. 60 drivers will be heading to that circuit to put on a fight and put on a big show for you guys. And don't forget to keep on our social medias. If you can't make it, if you can't attend in person, you will be able to see it all live here on the live stream. All the times will be online for you to see your selected time zone. So we just await Dave Egan to get into the paddock and to get to the podium, where we will be crowning this round's champion, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, giving away those all-important prizes and trophies for the event. As the sun sets here in Germany at Hockenheimring at the Mercedes-Benz Tribune stand.
So we are ready to announce the winners of the 5th round of the Drift Masters European Championship. And our drivers are ready. We get us in 4th position. Will you please make some noise for Germany's own Joe Hutunji? German driver ending up in 4th position today, just off the 3rd position. And one of the stories of the weekend, will you please give a huge ovation to 3rd position, Benedictus Cherba!
An incredible performance from the Lithuanian. Second position, and we want a huge cheer for this young man who unfortunately did not make the perfect end to a perfect weekend. Will you please make as much noise as possible for Adam Zalewski? And your winner, and the 2018 Drift Masters European Championship champion. Make some noise for James the Machine Dean! It's been an incredible event in Germany. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys in Mondello Park at the end of September. Once again, guys, give it up for fourth position, Joe Hutunji. Third, Benediktas Chirba. Second for Adam Zalewski. And your 2018 champion, James Dean. From me, from Eddie, from Ian, from all of the Drift Masters European Championship crew, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you guys in Mondello Park in just 2 weeks' time for the final. What an incredible event. We'll see you guys soon.